Hi, I'm Tealish and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe and click on the link tree found in the description of this video for links to my media content. Enjoy, and don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks. Hi, I'm Tealish and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. Today we're going to be doing a Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms set review. And I'm joined by Abdul Manikram. How you doing, Abdul? He's a fellow Team Pusheen team member. So I'm really excited to be joining him in doing this set review. I hope everybody enjoys watching this set review of Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms. It's the latest Thor set. Don't forget to post in the comments below with your. Do me a favor and post in the comments below with your favorite 3 figures from the set. So, if you're unfamiliar with the figures, you can listen or watch the set review first and comment on your favorite 3 figures. Or if you are familiar with them already, go ahead and comment on your favorite 3 figures that you're most excited about in War of the Realms. Also, don't forget to support your friendly local game store. If you happen to be local to the New York, New Jersey area, check out Highlander Games in Boonton, New Jersey for all your gaming needs. They sell a wide variety of games, Heroclix sealed product, and I believe singles also. So you can check them out at Highlander Games NJ. Definitely go check them out. Really good game store. That's where where Abdul and I both play. So really good gaming store. Check them out. So let's start getting into the set review here. Let's go over the rating system. So there's a rating system for every set review we do. It's the grading scale you can see below on the screen. We start with a 3 top tier, the triple espresso. Those would be your super meta or like really good top tier figures would be triple espresso. We would give them a 3. If it's not quite a top tier figure and we would consider it a double espresso, which we would give a 2. That would be something that's impressive, but not necessarily top tier. It might be second tier, middle of the road figure, or something that's good casual or good and sealed, but not necessarily overpowered or really amazing. Just very good. So 3 would be excellent. 2 would be very good. Then we have single espresso, which is a 1. That's a not really impressive figure, something that we don't really care about that much. And then even below a 1 would be the herbal tea, which is a 0, because we're Coffee and Clicks here. I try not to discriminate against people who don't drink coffee. You can any beverage that you prefer is fine, but for our purposes of our grading scale, the herbal tea is a 0, and that figure just puts you to sleep. So we have a 0, 1, 2, 3 grading scale. And we're going to take a look at the commons first in War of the Realms. So let's get started and look at the commons. And the first common we have is War of the Realms set number 001, Thor. He has 0 range, 2 targets, Avengers team ability. He's 75 points. He's got 10 speed with charge, 12 attack with quake, 18 defense with impervious, 4 damage, just plain 4 damage. Keywords: Asgardian, Avengers, Deity, and Warrior. Real name Thor Odinson. And he is a shifting focus, so his trait says shifting focus, son of Asgard, free. If Thor began on your turn on the map, replace him with another character with this trait on the same click number. Abdul, what would you rate this figure, or what do you think about it?
Just looking at the powers and abilities that he currently has, his stats as well too. 10 charge, 12 attack with Quake, 18 imperv, 4 damage. Sounds like really great numbers to have for a figure. However, his point cost is 75. I can honestly, looking at this, just basing my decision off of what I see there on the dial, I would give him a 1. The shifting focus may actually does add more to him, but as of right now, unfortunately, I would just give him a 1.
Okay, so definitely, I mean, compared to the Wonder Woman shifting focus figures from the Wonder Woman 80th anniversary set, the Thor shifting focus so far doesn't seem to compare. And we haven't seen the other two. We haven't seen the other shifting focus figures, but
right, yeah, that might the other shifting focus may increase his value, but for playability right now in sealed, he'll be fine. If you end up pulling just him in a pack, because he does have a 10 move, which is a 5 charge range and a 12 attack, so he can target multiple enemies that are adjacent. But outside of the sealed event or a battle royale, yeah, I would still give him a 1.
Yeah, I would agree. I would give him a 1 in general play. In sealed, I might give him a 2, but I mean, I think there is actually in this set there's better options in sealed as well. The impervious is nice, 12 attack is nice, but for 75 points, I mean, 2 targets is also nice because you can close attack with 2 targets now.
Sure.
But I think it's just kind of a okay figure. So I would also give it a 1. So. All right, let's take a look at the next figure then. Let's move on to Captain America. Captain America is set number 002. He has 6 range with 2 targets. He's got the Avengers team ability and the Shield team ability. He's 60 points. He's got 10 speed with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with energy shield deflection, and 3 damage with leadership. And that's it. I mean, he doesn't have any special powers or anything. Just a straight dial. Avengers, Invaders, Past, Shield, and Soldier keywords. Also, I mean, I think my opinion on this one is just the same as the Thor before that. I mean, if you're playing sealed and you're looking for a 60-point guy with leadership, that's fine. But and he does have charge. He has a little bit of range. But I mean, in like regular play, I would just give him a 1. In sealed, maybe. I mean, he's kind of bland and sealed as well. But he's good. It's good that he's. I like the trend of making some of the lower rarity figures more simple and easier to understand. So I do appreciate that from a design perspective. What about you, Abdul?
Absolutely, yeah. Take a look at his stats again. The leadership's very nice. It goes along with the keywords, which you can build a nice team around him if you pull them in sealed. The shield TA does add to his value to boost up the range or enhance damage for one particular attack. In sealed, I would probably play him. But overall, in a regular constructed game, I would unfortunately have to pass on this Captain America. Although he is very nice, again with his keywords, the shield TA, the 6 range, and the 2 bolts. But overall, I would just still give him a 1.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's take a look at the next figure in the commons. So we're still in the commons. We're going to be looking at set number 3. Set number 003. This is Vision. Also a shifting focus figure. So we have 2 shifting focus figures in the set, the Thor and also the Vision. Common Vision, 6 range with a single target, Avengers team ability, 65 points, 8 speed with a special, 10 attack, 18 defense with impervious, 3 damage with with close combat expert. Free if Vision began your turn on the map, replace him with another character with this trait on the same click number. That trait will be true for all of the shifting focus figures. So if I just say shifting focus, that's what that means. And then also the speed power, come in like a wrecking ball when Vision is given a move action. After resolutions, you may deal an adjacent opposing character 1 damage. I mean, what do you think about this, Abdul? This is probably my least favorite. This is one of my least favorite. So, what do you think?
One of the more redeeming qualities about this figure is the phasing and then dealing the 1 damage. Actually, I apologize. Is dealing the 1 damage after a move action. Other than that, it's not too impressive. He doesn't have a movement attack. He's a great transporter. Unfortunately, he's just carrying 1 figure, and right now I would just give him another 1.
Yeah,
he doesn't really impress me at this point.
Yeah, I would give him a 1. I mean, I'm leaning a little bit towards a 0 on this one. I don't really like. I mean, you could do some cool things with, in the last set, which was the, what was the last X-Men set? Rise and Fall.
And Rise, yes.
Oh no, it wasn't in Rise and Fall. I'm thinking about the Beast from Empire, right? You could do some cool things with like carrying him up, and then he gets an attack, and then you also base him next to a character, and then you could do like a damage with Vision. But I mean, like, you could do some like tricky things with Vision, I guess. But I mean, he's got a 10 attack. I mean, he does have close combat expert, which is fine. But I mean, no movement attack. I mean, if I'm moving Vision next to somebody, and then just to deal that one damage, I'm probably setting Vision up for getting attacked next turn.
Oh, absolutely. He seems like a sacrificial piece. Like you would, as you said, you would want to bring somebody you don't mind losing in a fight up to the front line, just to tie up your opponent, and while everyone else moves in. But if you're looking at it, Vision's 65 points. I believe that Beast is 50 or 55 points. So you're spending about 110 points, a third of your build, to move 2 figures up, deal 1 penetrating damage, and then hopefully landing an attack with an 11 attack. I believe he has Precision Strike. Thinking of Beast, I believe he has Precision Strike, and then he's got 3 damage. So he's got whoever he's targeting, if they have Invincible, Impervious, or Invulnerability, that's definitely going to reduce the damage that he's dealing out. So he's going to have to get around that. So it's a very large give and take of giving up a third of your build, to try and attack somebody.
Yeah, I think you might situationally he might be good because he is shifting focus. So you might be able to shift into something else. You never know. But I think overall I'm not a big fan of the Vision, and that's sad because I really like the character. I really like Vision as a character.
Likewise.
All right, let's move on to the next common. Let's see what we got. So the next common in the set is Scarlet Witch, set number 004. She's 30 points. She's 4 range with a single target. She's got the Avengers team ability. She's got 10 speed with a special. She's Flyer. She's got 10 attack with telekinesis. She's got 17 defense, which she later on in her dial she gets barrier, and then she's got 2 damage with prob, and then her special is flying special is what I must do I can't do on my own. Facing teleport and passenger 3, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her. Her keywords are Avengers, Latveria, Mystical, and Young Avengers. I think she's a really good taxi for Latveria. I would give her a 2, I think. I think she's solid. Not the best taxi in like meta terms, but I mean, she's good for Latveria because she's 30 points and she can carry Latveria. But I mean, with a lot of the keyword manipulation out there, I mean, that you could get other taxis on Latveria teams as well. So, what do you think? I give her a 2.
Nice. Yeah, I would tend to agree. Between a 2 and a 3. I know it's not really one of the ratings you have right now currently, but let's take a look at her. She's 10 move, facing teleport. You can carry 3 figures if they share a keyword with her. That means you can carry a flyer with her, and phase across or phase them into a certain point on the map and then have them move an attack or attack the next turn, and then she can withdraw your army. That's why I'm thinking, okay, listen, she's probably in between the 2 and the 3 right now. Being that the sets due out, shortly, I would like to see builds come out with her on the team. One Another benefit she's got going for is she does have telekinesis, and she's only 30 points, a very small amount on your build force, so that gives you 270 points to play around with. So if I was building a team and I had 30 points to spare, I would definitely include her on my team.
Yeah, I think she's solid. She also has prob too, so that's really good.
Most definitely.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at what's the next figure is Executioner, set number 005. He's a common. He's 90 points. He's got 0 range with 2 targets, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with invulnerable, 4 damage. He does have a long dial. He's got 9 clicks, but no specials. As Guardian, Brute, and Masters of Evil and Warrior keywords. Real name Scourge. What are your thoughts on the Executioner?
Executioner's nice in sealed. Again, he's got the double bolts, so he can close combat 2 adjacent figures or 2 close figures. He does have the 11 attack with the 4 damage with Masters of Evil TA. So if in a sealed event, I would definitely run him up and try to tie up my opponents as best as possible. The only thing holding him back from seeing actual meta play, in my opinion, is the 90-point value that comes along with him. For 90 points, I would honestly try to get other figures, someone maybe that flies or that can bust through blocking terrain. So at this point, I would honestly give him a high 1, maybe not so much a 2 just yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, he's good and sealed. Also, don't forget that he has the Masters of Evil team ability, which was changed. I think they changed it to be similar to the police team ability, only for close attacks, I think.
Right.
That's if I remember correctly. All right. So all right, let's take a look at the next figure. Set number 006, Black Panther. He is 4 range with a single target. He's 45 points. He's got the Avengers team ability, 9 speed with stealth, 11 attack with blades, claws, fangs, 18 defense with combat reflexes, 3 damage with a special, and he has the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Ruler, Wakanda, and Warrior keywords. He has a rally trait, friendly attack rolls, and rally is for friendly attack rolls means whenever you roll a friendly attack roll that is a 1. That's why it says rally 1. You would put a rally dice on his card, and he can accumulate rally tokens on his card. Leadership. When an opposing character uses leadership, you may remove one of Black Panther's rally dice to replace the D6 result. So every time you roll a 1, you put a 1 on his card. You can have multiple 1s on his card, and then, they have to be attack rolls. But if you have multiple 1s on his card, and then when your opponent rolls for leadership, you can remove one of those 1s to make their leadership roll a 1. That's his only trait, his only power, other than what he's got there going for him. I actually think that this Black Panther might see play. I would put him like at a 2, but possibly he might see competitive play because on swap teams, especially if like Fantastic Four against or Avengers swap teams against teams that rely on leadership, like Blackheart that relies on getting a Hellfire Club Guard or something like that. I think that's kind of an interesting interaction. I mean, granted, you need to roll a 1 in order for it to work, but I mean, I think it's kind of cool. So I'd maybe give him a 2. This Black Panther.
Yeah, I like what you said about that. I actually hadn't thought about that, about putting him on a SWAT team before. Um, he does have a 9 move with the Avengers TA, so if I were to play him in a sealed or constructed format, I would definitely want to run him up in the middle of combat, close combat with everyone to tie up my opponent. He does have the 18 defense with combat reflexes and stealth, which would help him out greatly getting around, especially since hindering terrain has been changed from, the figures that don't ignore hindering terrain, they had to stop previously, but nowadays they can just keep running as up to their full speed value. His dial isn't that deep, but yeah, I can definitely see him seeing play on the sideline active figures such as calling in or recruiting in a figure. I would give him a 2, but
Maybe
it's a
like a high 1, yeah.
high 1, yeah, low 2, like a very hesitant 2. Like he does have potential. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I think if he was either 40 points, I would definitely give him a 2. If he was maybe 1 click longer, or maybe had to move an attack, such as charge, or maybe even throw in a sidestep, traded sidestep for him, that might be useful for him too. But yeah, right now definitely a low 2.
Yeah, I mean, I played with him in sealed over the weekend, and he was a little bit hard to move around because of his lack of sidestep or move and attack. So I kind of had to just keep moving him and basing people with him. It was hard to get attacks off with him, so that was kind of frustrating with him.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I actually pulled him in sealed too yesterday. Did well with him. I mean, I honestly just used him as a theme team proper and just a tie-up piece. Overall, he didn't really take that much damage because I much like you, just kept him in the background and just used him as a throwaway piece, so to speak. So.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the next figure, which is Loki, set number 007. He has some text here. 6 speed, 6 range with a single target. He's got the Mystics team ability. He's 50 points. 9 speed with stealth, and he's a flyer. 10 attack, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with probability control. He has a trait, illusions and trickery during force construction. You may only add a 007 Loki at 10 points if you also have one at 50 points on your starting force. For all the characters with this trait, 2 to 4. If you have 2 to 4 Lokis on your force, you have action total +1. If you have 5 or more Lokis on your force, action total +2. So it's very similar to Dr. Fate from Justice League Unlimited. Here is the 10-point Loki. He has a single click of health, but he has the same stats on the first click that the regular Lokis have. So a lot of prob on your team. I know with Dr. Fates, his damage power is enhancement.
Right.
Loki gives you prob, but I don't know. What Abdul, what do you think about this Loki?
It's interesting. Again, right off the bat, I would definitely give him a 2. I do expect to see him on a few meta teams because you're investing, at the very least, you're going to spend 60 points. That's going to give you 2 figures. It's going to boost if you decide to go the route of creating a theme team. You've got Asgardian, Deity, or Mystical. And you can actually get a fair amount of figures on your force, based on those 3 keywords. He does have the Mystics TA, and likewise, so does the Loki clones. So I do expect to see, like I said, a fair number out there in play. The fact that he has flight and 9 move, which allows him to get over a lot of outdoor terrain, elevated as well. He can maneuver your team around to the point where they have a very good advantage to attack your opponent and or distract them basically. So I would give him a solid 2.
All right, let's take a look. And I agree. I would give him a 2. I mean, I think everything you said there was just spot on. He's gonna. I mean, Doctor Fate was used in the same way, and also the fact that you can mix Lokis with Doctor Fates if you wanted to, because they both have the mystical keyword. So you could like, interestingly, like do like a combination. I don't know how you would. I mean, you could do that. I don't know if that's like the smartest thing to do, but like Loki himself, he's a pretty good character, and like everything you said, I agree with. I would give him a 2. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Spider-Man, which is set number 008. Spider-Man is a common. I don't think this is the Miles Morales Spider-Man. There's no picture there for him yet. Yeah. So he's the Miles Morales Spider-Man. He's a common. He's got 4 range with double target. He's got the Spider-Man team ability, which is wild card. He's got he's 60 points, 11 speed with charge, 11 attack with quake, 18 defense, and 3 damage without wit. He's got the Avengers, Champions, Shields, Spider-Man family keywords. He's got improved movement, elevated. He's got a trait, part of me swinging through, super senses. Friendly characters that are adjacent or have the Avengers keyword can use super senses. And there's a whole like set of these characters that have similar traits where they give Avengers keyworded figures powers. So this Spider-Man gives Avengers super senses or adjacent characters. I think that he might be a little bit too high costed for his point value personally. So at 60 points, I would give him like a 1 probably, but maybe I'm not too big on him, especially he's got no defense power. He looks a little squishy with 18 defense with no reducers. He does have super senses though, traded super senses, so that's good. And he does have wild cards, so you can do that, use that to your advantage. But I'm not totally sold on him. I would give him a 1. What do you think, Abdul?
I can understand why you want to give him a 1. When we pulled up the style, I was looking at it. The first thing that caught my eye was, where's his defense power? Is super senses traded? Absolutely, it's a very nice thing to have. And now it's giving, he's giving out super senses to adjacent or have the Avengers keyword. Based on that, I think I would actually definitely give him a 2, and I do expect to see him have some playability. He does have improved movement elevated, which means you want to be able to run him up a little bit further into combat and then utilize a power that I very rarely see people use in constructed, outwit. It's fantastic power. He's got it, and he could run up, outwit a power, and someone, another Avenger on the team, or another friendly character gets TK'd up next to him, and they fire off a shot, and next turn they have the ability to avoid any retaliation attacks because now they're adjacent to Miles Morales Spider-Man, and they have super senses. They can use super senses. So I would give him a 2. I want to see what people do with this guy.
Okay, yeah. No, I can see that. I mean, I don't know. I just think he's 60 points might be a little bit much for him, but super senses is really good in the game right now. There's a lot of super senses out there, so
yeah.
I mean, it is good.
I believe on an Avengers team, he actually probably would shine better because you don't have to be adjacent as long as you have the Avengers keyword.
Yeah, just everybody gets super senses.
Right. Could you imagine 30-point Scarlet Witch with super senses that has a 17 defense, and you're attacking somebody that has a 12 attack, and you just can't bring her down?
No, true. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's 1/3 chance of hitting, right? 5 or 6. So giving everybody that 1/3 chance of evading an attack is pretty powerful effect. So, all right, let's take a look at the next figure, which is Hulk, set number 009. We're also missing the image for this one, but he's got a similar trait as that Spider-Man. He's 0 range with single target. He's got the Avengers team ability, 70 points, 9 speed with sidestep, 10 attack, 17 defense with combat reflexes, 3 damage with just 3 damage. He he's 7 clicks long, and as you can see, it's your pretty standard Hulk dial. Towards the end of his dial, his attack value gets higher and his stats get better. He gets like a 4 damage on click 6 with 12 attack and flurry and regen, so that's kind of cool. His trait is invulnerability, and friendly characters that are adjacent or have Avengers keyword can use toughness. So what are your thoughts on this one, Abdul? So it's very similar to the Spider-Man one we just looked at.
Sure. This Hulk is very interesting in that he does have the sidestep to start, and he does have combat reflexes and the traded invulnerability. I like that. He's got the Avengers DA, so he's got, realistically, if he just did a move action to run up in the middle of combat, he can move 10 squares and base the opponent. And if they happen to forget that he's got traded invulnerability, then that's another power that's going to, be a benefit to him. However, 70 points, his dial it's 7 clicks long, but it is, in my opinion, I think it's a little too short for a Hulk. Not as Hulkish as we've seen other Hulks be. I would actually give him a 1.
Yeah, I think so too, because toughness is not the best power to be handing out to everybody. I mean, senses is one thing, but toughness is something different. So I think I agree with you. I would give him a 1 as well. Interesting dial though, because
very interesting.
And then yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna go to the next figure.
Sure.
Let's go to set number 10, Nebula. Let's take a look at her. She has the Guardians team ability, which is a new team ability that says that opposing characters cannot modify your combat values. Okay. Is it opposing characters or opposing effects cannot? I have to look at the exact wording on there. Like, does Guardians team ability prevent you from being modified by the emotional modifier, or
that I would have to take a look at. I believe it's opposing characters can't modify anyone with the Guardians TA their combat values, but I'll have to take a look again to see if the emotional modifiers you're saying gets around that.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys watching at home, if you know the answer to that question, whether Guardians gets around the emotional modifier, let me know in the comments below. So Nebula is 6 range with single target. Guardians team ability, 50 points. She's got 8 speed with running shot, 11 attack with pen psi, penetrating psychic blast, 17 defense with energy shield deflection, 3 damage. She's got the Guardians of the Galaxy pirate and robot keywords. Love to see more pirates. That's always fun. She's got a trait, constantly improving, free, heal Nebula 1 click. So, I noticed that she's pretty good in sealed for sure. She's got that running shot, penetrating psychic blast with 11 attack is good in sealed. Also, because penetrating damage is always good in sealed, and also the fact that she heals, she could just heal for free, makes her kind of annoying and sealed for the opponent. But I don't see her being competitive really, so I would give her a 1.
I like the constantly improving trait. Free healer 1. The Guardians TA does help her out a lot. 6 range is in the current format is very good with an 11 attack and psychic blast. As you said, in sealed, she's going to be really good. However, I don't see her making a splash in the meta. I would definitely give her a 1. She's very underwhelming.
Okay, all right. Let's take a look at the next figure, which is Black Widow, set number 11. She is 4 range with triple target. She's a team player, which is team player team ability, which is like wild card. She's 50 points. She's got 8 speed with sidestep, 10 attack, 17 defense with combat reflexes, 3 damage with outwit. Real name Natasha Romanoff. I don't see her keywords listed there, but I'm assuming
not available there.
I'm assuming she's an Avenger at the very least. She's got improved movement characters, and she's got a trait, wait for the perfect opportunity, stealth, friendly characters that are adjacent or have the Avengers keyword can use stealth. Oh, so this is very similar to the Spider-Man and the Hulk that we looked at. So
Mhm.
she gives Avengers stealth. What are your thoughts on this Black Widow?
She does. Just to let you know, her keywords are going to be Avengers, Champions, Martial Artists, Shield, Spy, and Thunderbolts.
Oh wow, that's a
Um,
lot of keywords. Okay.
she has a lot of keywords there. Yeah, definitely. I like the sidestep. I like the fact that she's giving out stealth to an Avengers team all across the board, no matter where you're at. So using the old Miles Morales comparison, Miles Morales along with her on a team is very good. They're super complementary to an Avengers team. To anyone else, you're gonna have to be adjacent to her. And in the current format, many figures actually have energy explosion on them. So I don't know if that may be the best strategy to use with that. 50 points kind of puts her above where I would want her to be. If she was about 40 points, I definitely would give her double espresso. At this point, I would, she's great and sealed. I would probably give her a high one, maybe a low two.
Yeah, you know what I just thought of too, and I think this would apply to the Miles Morales and also to Black Widow, is don't
Sure.
forget that Avengers swap is a thing. So
Oh yeah,
you can keep them on your sideline, and if you know they can't, if they have a bunch of range attackers that can't see through hindering, then you bring in Black Widow, and now everybody has stealth. Um, and that could be like a game winner right there, you know, like
oh without a doubt, yeah. That remains to be seen. And as soon as the set hits and folks start playing around with this, again, the only thing that's a negative to me is the fact that she's 50 points. Even at 40 points, I think she'd be perfect.
yeah.
I just think she's overcosted.
Okay, all right. So let's take a look at Hawkeye. This is Kate Bishop as Hawkeye. I don't know
Mhm.
if you've seen the Hawkeye series on Netflix, but you know Kate Bishop is one of the characters. That's it's not a spoiler. I think everybody knows that she's in the series. So all right. So Hawkeye is set number 0012. She's a common. She's got
Mhm.
8 range with triple target. She's 50 points. She's got the Avengers team ability, which means if she's making a move action, she can move 1 extra square. And but that does not count when she's using running shot. That's only when she's making a move action. And but she does have a special. She's got 8 speed with a special, which is running shot and sidestep. She's got 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, and she's got 17 defense with ESD and 3 damage, triple target. So and 8 range. That's really good. Keywords: Avengers, Martial Artist, Spy, and Young Avengers. So you know, I'm a big Hawkeye fan. Um,
Nice.
I liked to see this figure when they came out, and she's really good in sealed. And you know, if you pull her in sealed, she's definitely someone you want to play in sealed. I don't think she's going to like make the meta, but I'd give her a 2 just because she's a really fun casual figure and she's good in sealed. Like she's very good in sealed.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, looking at the figure, the A range is fantastic. Triple target, amazing. I love it. She doesn't have improved targeting, not that I can see here. So that's a little bit of a negative on her part. But she does have penetrating psychic blast and ESD from range, which is great. Um, I would give her a 2 based on this. Going back to what we were talking about before, having her be a swap figure. You bring her in. If you notice your opponents, they have invulnerability, imperv. You know, and it's present across multiple figures that they have. I could definitely see her being on a swap team, outranging the opponent, and that sidestep into running shot is just fantastic. Or just running shot up and then sidestep back into behind cover somewhere. That's another great use of her. So yeah, I would totally would give her a 2.
Okay, yeah. Let's take a look at. I agree. I agree. Let's take a look at Blade. Blade is set number 013. He is a common. He's the next common from the set that we're looking at. So he's 6 range with 2 targets. Team player team ability, which is the wild cards. He's 60 points, 9 speed with charge, 11 attack with Blade's Claws Fangs, 18 defense with toughness, 3 damage with just regular 3 damage. And he's got the Avengers, Midnight Suns, Monster, and Mystical keywords. Real name Eric Brooks. He's got a trait, Rally 5, opposing attack roll. So when your opponent rolls a 5, that's when he gets a rally dice. Steel Energy. When Blade would be KO'd by an opposing character, you may instead remove one of Blade's rally dice. If you do, turn him to click number 6, Protected Pulse Wave. So I think I was playing a Battle Royale yesterday where Blade accumulated like 7 rally dice. So he was just never going to die. He was never going to get KO'd.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Looking at him, you know what? I like this figure. I really do. I like the wildcard TA that he has. 6 range is nice if you have to just get that one shot off, just to finish off a figure that the team was working on. I like the charge move 5. The 11 attack helps out tremendously. I don't see penetrating damage on him though. I'm a little disappointed in that, but I expect him to see play on specific teams. Monster being one of them. If you happen to team him up with everyone's favorite Sky Tyrant drags him into combat. Sky Tyrant gets his flurry off. He's bound to roll a 5 in one or 2 of those. And once Sky Tyrant KOs a figure, he gets his own resurrection token. So I could see him playing, being used on a monster team. On other teams, not so much. Maybe on a swap team as well too. I can see him coming in. I would give him a 2.
Yeah, for me, I agree. I mean, maybe like a high 1 I would give him. I don't know if he's. I see him mainly as like a charge piece, like charge blades. He's hard to KO, which is good, but I think there are better options for 60 points. But I think he's good. And I like the character, so I'll give him a 2. Let's take a look at Hercules, which is set number 014. Hercules is 100 points or 65 points. And you can see those 2 dials there. He's got 0 range with 2 targets. He's got the Guardian's team ability, 11 speed with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with impervious, 3 damage with close combat expert. He has improved movement, destroys blocking, which is always good, especially on a map with lots of blocking on it. And he's got 9 clicks of life. So that's it. That's what you see is what you get with Hercules. I give him like a 1. I mean, in sealed he's very good, or he's good. He's good in sealed, especially with the improved movement, destroys blocking. I don't think he's going to be used competitively. So what do you think, Abdul?
Yeah, looking at him, I would agree 100%. 2 bolts, so he can charge in with his 11 charge or 6 move charge. And then he's got the close combat expert, so that's a 12 attack, and he's got 4 damage. Situationally, he's a great piece. In a battle royale, I think he ended up netting me 160 points, 170 points just by himself because he was able to target multiple characters. So you can the nice thing about him is if you happen to have a character that has like damage reducers such as invulnerability, impervious, or invincible, and another adjacent character that has super senses, he can charge in. He declares his attack on both. If super senses hit, it's an easy decision where all the damage is going. But that's sealed and that's battle royale. In regular gameplay, in Constructed, I wouldn't really expect to see him across the map when I sat down to play a game. I would give him a 1.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I do like about the set, and I'm noticing about the set, is that some of the
Hmm.
characters are better at their higher point lines than are at their lower point lines, which is usually, a lot of times, especially competitively when we're playing, we look
Hmm.
at like figures on their low point lines. We tend to look at that first. But like for
Yeah,
example, Hercules here, he's got plasticity, which is okay. But I prefer to start him at 100 points with charge. So that's just my preference, but I think that's true of this set because this set is like it's a Thor set, so it's supposed to be like a lot of bruisers and big, powerful figures.
absolutely. Yeah, that's what Hercules is known for. Just running in, tying up his opponents, and making them work for it. The 18 defense, even at the 65-point mark, is nice, but it's not it's not a guarantee he's going to be able to survive more than like 2 or 3 hits. Because once he gets hit for 4 damage, he's taking two, he's down, or if he gets hit for 5 damage, he's down to click number 7, which is 17 defense, super senses, and there's lots of outwit out there, or whatever they need to do to get around that. Definitely better at his 100-point mark.
All right, well, let's take a look at Lady Sif. Lady Sif is the next
Uh,
figure in the set. She's set number 015. She's got 0 range with 2 targets. She's 55 points, 8 speed with charge, 11 attack with Blaze Claw's Fangs, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3
yeah,
damage with leadership. She's got rally 1 for friendly attack rolls. So if you roll a 1, you can remove that. A roll 1 on a friendly attack roll, you can remove that rally dice to make an attack. Free remove one of Lady Sif's rally dice to make an attack, which is cool because if she's in the middle of her flurry, right, and let's say she lands one attack, and then let's
mm-hmm.
say she's got 2 chances with those 2 flurry attacks to possibly roll a 1, and then
Yes, she does.
after resolutions, you can use a free action to make a third attack. If she happens to roll a 1 in those with the 2 flurries, that's really good. I like that. She's really good in sealed. I think. I don't know. I'd give her a 2. I think I'd give her a 2. She's also got 2 targets, which is kind of cool, and she's
Mm-hmm.
got leadership, so that's kind of cool. She does have the deity and warrior keywords, which is interesting. What do you think, Abdul?
She's an interesting piece. One thing I'd like to point out to the folks at home is that make sure you remember that each one of the rally die has a power attached to it. I actually pulled her and sealed yesterday and neglected to read the part that said flurry in the beginning. And I was just running around just single targeting people all day long. So I was missing out on attacks. That's my fault. But yeah, I love the fact she has flurry, and then she's got chances to accumulate a rally die on her own, or have your other figures on your team, attack first, and then have her be the last person to go in, or second to last person to go in, to make attacks, because then she can start dealing out lots of damage or just cleaning up the board a lot more. She does have the double bolts, and she does have a 8-move charge, with 3 damage and leadership. The leadership's nice, especially with the Asgardian, Avengers, deity, and warrior keywords. Would you see play? Maybe. I'm a little hesitant to give her a 2, but I would give her a 2 based on her rally die, based on the fact that she has leadership, and she brings a lot to the table for a team. So I'd give her a okay 2.
Yeah, like a high 1. High 1.
Yeah,
I think a high
definitely.
1 is really good. Good. It's a good.
Yeah,
That should be the new rating. High 1.
I won. You got it, man.
All right,
Awesome.
let's take a look at. This is the last common for the commons, so we're gonna take a look at Spider-Man set number 16. He
Mhm.
has got little armor on there. He's got a shield. He's got a helmet. He's got a sword. This is he's got 6 range with 2 targets. Spider-Man team ability. He comes in at 75 points, 9 speed with charge, 11 attack with quake, 18 defense with super senses, and 3 damage with exploit weakness. Um, He's got improved movement elevated, and he's got a traded shield and magic helmet. At least I think it's magic, energy shield deflection and toughness. So he's got he's not he's kind of a tough figure for 75 points. He's got 7 clicks of life. And he's got that exploit weakness, which is really good. You don't really see a lot of exploit in this set, I don't think. And you do see a lot of impervious in this set. So, penetrating damage is always good. I would give him a 1 in competitive and a 2 in sealed. That's what I would do.
I hear you. Yeah, his stats are fantastic. The shield and magic helmet trait is it's great. He has ESD and trait of toughness. He's got the exploit weakness with 3 damage. 3 damage nowadays is really nice. He's got quake with that too. So charging, quake, exploit, and you're right. We are seeing more and more invulnerability, a lot more impervious, a lot less invincible. But that point value that's tagged onto this figure, it kind of drags it down for me. I would agree. In sealed, I would play him. In regularly constructed, unfortunately, I would give him 1. In sealed, I'd give him a 2.
Yeah, I agree. So that is it for the commons. Stay tuned. We're going to be reviewing the uncommons of Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms. Okay, so now we're going to be taking a look at the uncommons from Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms. This is a set review, and we're going to take we've already looked at the commons. We're going to take a look at the uncommons. I'm joined by Abdul Manikram, fellow Team Pusheen member, and also hi Abdul. Hi Abdul.
Hey, how's it going?
So, let's take a look. Let's jump right into it and get into looking at the uncommons of War of the Realms. Starting with Thor, set number 017. So this is War of the Realms, Thor set number 017. He's got 8 range with 2 targets. Avengers team ability, 125 points. He's got 11 speed with running shot, 11 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 18 defense with impervious, 4 damage with leadership. He's got the Avengers as guardian, deity, and warrior keywords. Real name Thor Odinson. He's got improved targeting characters, which is really good. And he's got a trait: when Thor hits with a range attack after resolutions, he may use energy explosion as free, but must target a hit character. So this is kind of like the uncommon version of the Chase Thor from Captain America and the Avengers. This is like the uncommon version of that. And I really like it. I mean, I would play him in sealed. I don't think I would play him in competitive. I'd give him a 2. Just on sealed, basically.
It's interesting. Yeah, looking at him, I ended up pulling him in sealed yesterday, and he did phenomenal for me. As you pointed out before, there's a lot more impervious out there in the meta, and invulnerability and toughness as well. So that psychic blast is going to come in really handy, especially if you don't have outwit on your team. Love the 8 range and the dual targets, and then the trait to boost afterward. Once he hits one of his targets, he can use energy explosion, and with the way the rules are nowadays, that energy explosion damage is now penetrating. So your hit targets are now taking, if they don't have super senses or invincible, they're taking additional damage on top of that. His 125 points at this mark, I would honestly give him a 2 in sealed, a 1 in constructed, and this is why. Going back to the Captain America and the Avengers Chase Thor, at 125 points, he's got similar movement. He does have the energy explosion. I believe at that point he's got a 12 attack, 19 defense, invincible, with 5 printed damage. And I'm trying to remember if he has probability on that click or not. But I think that version of Thor comes in, gives a lot more to the team than this version does. So in constructed, I would give him a 1.
Yeah, I agree. I would constructed a 1, sealed a 2, maybe even a 3 in sealed. He's really good in sealed, but in constructed, not really. He's too many points for what he does.
Right, right.
All right, let's take a look at set number 018, Captain America. He's got 45 points. He's 45 points. He's 5 range with 2 targets. He's got the Avengers team ability. He's 10 speed with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with toughness, 3 damage with a special. His special is Avengers Assemble Leadership. If Captain America is on an Avengers theme team, increases leadership result by 1, which is great. And he also has, he's got the Avengers and Soldier keywords, and he has a trait, Recruiter. Now, this is a new mechanic in the game. Recruiter trait, it says power, so you give him a power action. Choose a character with the Avengers keyword in your KO area that hasn't been chosen for or generated by a recruiter effect. If you do, generate a character with the Avengers keyword from your sideline that has a lower point value than the chosen character. This game, the generated character can't be replaced, and your opponent scores them immediately instead of when they are KO'd. So, one of your characters gets KO'd. You have somebody on your sideline that's lower points. You can replace the character that got KO'd with that character from your sideline. You have to power action Captain America to do it. Okay. You don't replace. Sorry, not replace. You generate a character from your sideline, so it's generated adjacent to Captain America. So like let's say you have trying to think of a good example. Let's say you have
like a high point Avenger on your team.
Yeah,
you can choose.
Let's say you have Hulk at 70 points on your team. Hulk at 70 points, who he gets KO'd, and then you have Black Panther at 45 points, right, on your sideline, right? So Hulk gets KO'd. You Captain America power actions generates Black Panther adjacent to Captain America. And then your opponent immediately scores 45 points for Black Panther. Not when they're KO'd, but immediately when they come into the game, they score those points. So that's how the recruiter trait works. You got to be careful with it because your opponent can rack up a lot of points that way.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about the recruiter trait. Abdul, how do you feel about this Captain America and the recruiter mechanic?
Looking at his stats, the 18 defense, toughness, and charge, move of 5, wouldn't really use him as an attacker, so to speak. I would use him more for the recruiter trait and for the leadership that he has, the leadership trait power. If Captain America is on an Avengers team, you increase his D6 roll by 1, meaning 4, 5, or 6, 50-50 shot of clearing a token off of a figure that you need to actually take an action in the next turn. I like that a lot. Situationally, with the recruiter power, I could see him being TK'd out 6 or 8 squares, or double TK'd up to an opposing figure that's damaged, that took out one of your Avenger figures before, and Captain America calls in from the recruits in from the KO area. Recruits in a figure of low point value just to finish off that other figure. I can see him being used. I would give him a solid 2, both in sealed and in constructed.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think he's got potential. I don't know if recruiter is going to be a worthwhile effect in the meta, but that remains to be seen. So if you are purchasing product of War of the Realms and you want to consider making a recruiter team or putting recruiter on your team, go for it by all means and try it out and see what happens. It's an interesting game mechanic.
Oh, absolutely. It's situational. I mean, you would use it as not as a last ditch effort, but you can definitely use it as, hey, listen, I need someone that can do maybe 4 damage because I know that figure is going to get KO'd if I do, and it's going to turn the tide of the game in my favor. Definitely use the recruiter trait ability.
And also, like, I know there's other characters that have like as guardian recruiter. You can bring in like low point figures like Surtur, or you could bring in like I don't know
Surtur.
or for Avengers, who could you bring in that's low point? You could bring in like a really low point figure too. That's like really like a utility figure. Um,
The new Kate Bishop Hawkeye with the 12 attacks, psychic blast, 8 range.
there you go.
She can get generated by Captain America adjacent, but then she has the side step up and then running shot for 4 with a 12 attack. And triple target. So that's I can see that being used a lot. But it's like this mechanic is much like the mission points. So it'll take some tweaking, some trial and error, but definitely it should be effective.
All right. Let's take a look at the next figure, which is Vision. This is another shifting focus Vision. Set number 19, 65 points, 6 range with a single target, 8 speed with special, 10 attack, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with probability control, Avengers and robot keywords. It's got the shifting focus trait. It's also got a speed, power, density shift, phasing teleport. When Vision uses it after resolutions, you may give an action token to an opposing character Vision moved through. Again, no move and attack. It's cool to give an action token for free. That's an interesting effect, but I don't know if it's worth it for 65 points. What do you think, Abdul?
When you couple them with the other Vision that we saw that had the 18 defense impervious, I can see him being utilized such as this, phasing up, giving the opposing character an action token, and then shifting focus into the other Vision that we saw earlier. Would I build a team with him or around him for 65 points? Probably not. I think you can come up with, many other figures that would be able to fill that slot in there. I would give him a 2 in sealed and a 1 in constructed.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. And then let's take a look at the Enchantress at 75 points. She's set number 20. She's got the Masters of Evil and Mystics team abilities. 6 range with double target, 8 speed with phasing teleport, 11 attack with telekinesis, 17 defense with energy shield deflection, 2 damage with probability control, and she's got a traded mind control. When the Enchantress uses it after resolutions, give each hit target an allure token if they don't have one already. When an opposing character with an allure token attacks the Enchantress, modify their attack and damage -1. She's got the Asgardian, Masters of Evil, and mystical keywords. Real name Amora. I think she's good and sealed. She's got TK, which is great, and she's got Prob, which is great, and traded mind control, which means you can't knock her off her mind control. She's got traded mind control. The fact that she can she's got ESD, so you can put her in hindering and give her like a 20 defense from range, and then also has prob, so it it'll be kind of hard to hit her. I know because that happened to me yesterday in sealed. But that's pretty good with her. She's got the ESD helps her out a lot. And I'd give her a 2 in sealed. I don't think she's going to be good for her points in competitive. So I'd give her a 1 in competitive and a 2 in sealed. I mean, the mind control and the TK is really good too. And then prob is always good in sealed.
Sure, I can see that. Now, the trait of mind control gives her an edge on a lot of figures out there that she can try to manipulate, mind control and attack the opposing character, and then have them walk up as close to her as possible, if not adjacent to her. The 11 attack is nice. The TK is nice, but for 75 points, even in sealed, I may end up, if I had no other option to play her. I would have to play her at that point. I would give her a 1 in both sealed and constructed. I'm just a
That,
little underwhelmed by this figure.
that's actually a good point, Abdul. Like, just by herself, she looks good, but like in the sealed environment of the War of the Realms, there are a
Mhm.
lot of other 75-point figures that deal out a lot more damage and are just big bruisers at 75 points. You have a 75-point Thor, you have a 75-point Spider-Man that we looked at with the exploit. You have a lot of
Sure.
figures to 75 points, or even 100. Around that point value that are really good and sealed that maybe are better options than she is. So yeah, I'm gonna change my vote to a 1. I agree with you.
Not a problem. Yeah, no, you know what, I saw her in sealed. I faced off against her in sealed, and I think what tipped the scales for me, and as I was looking at her powers, is she has upfront faces and teleport. Now, that sounds great and all, but she doesn't utilize it that well in the beginning. Meaning, she doesn't have transporter. She can't carry any figures with her, so it's really just solely for her purpose. If the sidestep at the last three of her clicks were swapped to the beginning, I would definitely give her a 2 for sealed. She may actually see some play somewhere in constructed, but I highly doubt it even then. But yeah,
Yeah.
if those were swapped, then definitely would reverse my decision on her.
All right, let's take a look at Scourge. This is set number 21. He's an uncommon, very simple dial. 6 range with 2 targets, Guardian's team ability, 60 points, 8 speed with a special, 11 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 17 defense with toughness, and 3 damage with exploit weakness. And he has charge and running shot as his special. Dis and order, charge and running shot.
It's in order.
Dis and order. That's what the name of the power is.
Yep.
I think he reminds me of that Deathstroke from Rebirth that has had almost the same dial, running shot and charge and exploit and pensai. I mean, he's a lot less points than that Deathstroke was. Deathstroke I think was 100 points. But he had healing.
He did.
So this Scourge, I mean, not bad and sealed for sure. But he's not going to see competitive play. He's just kind of too bland to be a competitive piece. So I'd give him a 1 in competitive and a high 1 in sealed.
Nice. Yeah, you're being generous. I'm actually a little harsher on his judgment. I pulled him in a Battle Royale pack yesterday, and I think he passed me up 2 times. I ended up with him at the end because it was him and another 30-point figure that it wasn't Scarlet Witch, but it was someone else that just didn't wow me, so I ended up pulling him. I'm a little disappointed in his starting defense goes from 17 to an 18. If that was reversed, I probably would give him a little bit higher rating. The 11 attack is great. The psychic blast is awesome. The dis and order, which is, if you read the comics or watched the movie, the movies, he mentions that here and there. That's great. I love it. But overall, I would definitely give him a 1 in both sealed and constructed.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at Groot. I am Groot. So he's set number 22. He's an uncommon. Guardian's team ability, of course. He's got 4 range with a single target. 55 points. I don't know if I said that. He's got sidestep, 11 attack with a special, 8 all through his dial, the same special. 18 defense with impervious and 3 damage with empower. And his special for his attack is spears and branches. Giant reach 3, quake, but deals 3 damage instead of 2. I think he's fine. Empower's good.
Fine.
He's only got sidestep, so like if you're putting yourself in harm's way to get quaked for 3 damage, then you're not playing it right. You know what I mean? I think because he's got sidestep. That's it. So I think it's easy to kind of avoid him. You know what I mean? But he does have that 18 impervious, which is a solid defense for the point cost. I mean, I don't know. I'd give him also a high 1 in sealed, and a 1 in competitive, and a high 1 in sealed.
I like that. I did face off one against one yesterday in a battle royale. 8 move is okay. His sidestep makes sense. The 11 attack with the giant reach 3, that's amazing. That's fantastic. I love it. The 18 defense imperv, it's good. It's good. The 3 damage with empowers nice, helps out your friends. I unfortunately would have to give him a 1 for both seal and constructed. He's just as nice as those stats are. He's just underwhelming. I almost wish he did 4 damage. If you gave him 60, if you made him 60 points and he did 4 damage, I would give him a higher mark in sealed, but in constructed still, I doubt he's ever going to see play.
Well, yeah, or give him charge. I think with charge he would be really good.
Yeah, I mean with the charge, if you dropped his movement down from 8 to a 4, and then or kept it at a 6 with a traded sidestep and charge, so then he charges sidesteps 2 and charges for 3, might make a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very hard to make this guy competitive. In my opinion.
I think it's cool character wise. Like it seems pretty accurate, comic accurate as
Oh,
Groot.
absolutely.
Like I feel like Groot. That's what Groot's style should look like. So
yeah, for comic accuracy, I would probably extend him out maybe 2 more clicks. Give him a different trait, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So I mean he's yeah. So 1's all around for Groot. Let's take a look at Nova. Nova is set number 23. He's uncommon. Well, these are all uncommons. He's got 6 range with single target, Guardians and Police team abilities, which are both very good team abilities. 70 points, 10 speed with a special. He's a flyer. 11 attack with Pensai, 18 defense with Impervious, and 3 damage with Close Combat Expert. So, and his speed power is charge and running shot. When Nova uses charge, if he has no action tokens, don't have speed. So he can potentially full move charge for 12 attack, 4 damage. Or he can running shot for 11-3 penetrating. And he has a whole lot of keywords: Avengers, Cosmic, Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, Core, Police, and Soldier keywords. Real name Richard Ryder. I mean, I haven't seen him in sealed personally. I would maybe guess that he's a 2 in sealed. I don't think he's competitive, but I really like the character, and I do like the representation. Maybe I wish he had like 1 more click of life, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, looking at it, I see a lot of what you're saying. Him getting TK'd out there, with 0 action tokens makes him more of a threat, especially when he uses Close Combat Expert. The 6 range is nice with a running shot of 5. Overall, I would give him a decent double espresso. In constructed, I wouldn't really see him, seeing play. You can get a whole slew of other characters for 70 points to be able to do what he does, maybe even better. I doubt I would see him in competitive play.
Yeah, so like a 2 in sealed, but like a 1 in constructed.
Wait a minute, does he have is that transporter?
No, just flying.
Okay.
Yeah, he just has flying.
All right, that makes the screen a little bigger.
All right, so let's take a look at Dr. Annabelle Riggs. Dr. Annabelle Riggs is set number 24. She's an uncommon. She's 50 points with a Guardian's team ability. She's 0 range with a single target. 7 movement with 7 speed with sidestep. 10 attack, 17 defense with ESD. 2 damage with a special power. She's got the Asgardian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Scientist keywords. If she began your turn on the map, free. She's got a trait, Valkyrie, free. If Dr. Annabelle Riggs began your turn on the map, replace her with set number 26 Valkyrie on the same click number. So it's kind of like a shifting focus, but into a different figure, which is like a different character name. So that's kind of cool. And also, she's got a damage power, not that kind of Doctor Outwit. When Dr. Annabelle Riggs uses it, she can choose a number of powers equal to the target's action tokens +1. So multiple Outwit is always good. You know, I think she's a little bit pricey for 50 points, but you know she's got that multiple Outwit, so that makes her valuable. Definitely in sealed, she could be good if you need Outwit. I would say the same thing. One in competitive, 2 in sealed. What about you, Abdul?
That's really interesting. I do love the Valkyrie trait. Her special Outwit is great, actually. I can see her being on a scientist theme team that utilizes not only the emotional modifier, but also utilizes her abilities as well, her Outwit. Because there's plenty of occasions where you're going to outwit someone's impervious. Later on down the dial, they either have a super senses or vulnerability, and that's something else you want to get around too. So I honestly, overall, I would give her a 2 in sealed and a 2 in constructed. I would like to see. I expect to see some teams having her on the force.
I could see where it's possible. I just think she's a little pricey for 50 points for that effect, especially on a scientist team, because scientists usually go like +10 or something like that. They usually have like a lot of small point cost figures. So
exactly, yeah.
Like if she was like 30 points, she would be really good. You know,
she would be a change at 30 points, my friend. That would be a ridiculous 30 points. Everybody would be playing her. Yeah, no, it's that outwit that makes it great, and then when she's done using the outwit and you need like an attacker, she can actually shift, for lack of better terms, shift into the Valkyrie, number 26 Valkyrie, and then just attack the opposing character. So it's nice. I can't see the potential behind her.
All right, and then let's take a look at. The next character in the set is Yondu. Set number 25. He is 7 range with a single target. Guardians team ability. He's 50 points. 10 speed with running shot. 11 attack. 17 defense with ESD. 3 damage with prob. And then rally die. Rally 3 all attack rolls. So literally every attack roll, if it's yours or your opponent's, if they roll a 3, you get to add a rally die to Yondu's card. And he has free remove one of Yondu's rally dice. If you do this turn, Yondu has 3 targets and deals penetrating damage. So basically, a lot of the time, because I think those rally dice are going to accumulate pretty fast, a lot of the time he's going to have 3 targets with penetrating damage. And he's also improved targeting elevated. So don't forget that. That's always good. Improved targeting elevated is a really good ability. So I think this guy's interesting. He's got Cosmic, Guardians of the Galaxy, Pirate, and Ravagers keywords. Again, I always like to see pirates, just for fun purposes. And I think his power is just so comic accurate and fun. Like he can triple target and ping 3 people for penetrating damage. I just like him. I don't know if he's good or not, but I like him. What do you think, Abdul?
Yeah, I played it against him yesterday in sealed, and that rally die actually, in my opinion, actually makes him a bit more competitive than what others may view him as. Rally die 3, 3 is it's a pretty common number when you're rolling a d6. It's I think yesterday at the conclusion of our battle royale, Yondu had 9 rally die on him. So it's him having the rally die plus the improved targeting elevated, and you remove that rally die and he gets triple target psychic blast or a triple target penetrating damage. I think that actually makes him competitive, especially at 50 points with the 7 range. So he's moving 5, and shooting for 7, so that he's covering basically a 12 square area, so to speak. I like him. I honestly would give him a strong 2 in sealed, and in competitive, I would give him probably a 2 as well. I would expect to see him somewhere along the lines, especially with, invulnerability and impervious again being pretty common out there in the meta today.
Yeah. All right. Good. So let's take a look at the next figure, which is Valkyrie. This is the one that Dr. Annabelle Riggs changes into. She's 50 points as well. She's got the Guardians team ability, 0 range with 2 targets, 7 speed with charge, 11 attack with blades, 17 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage with just 3 damage. And she's got a trait Annabelle free. If Valkyrie began your turn on the map, replace her with set number 24, Dr. Annabelle Riggs, on the same click number. So, I mean, I would definitely start with the Annabelle one. If I was playing them both, I would start with the Annabelle one. This one's good, but she's only got 7 speed, so it's like a 4 square charge, which is not that great. Doesn't really have a high movement. She doesn't have flying or anything like that either. But she's good to turn Annabelle into. So in that way, I think she's good. What do you think, Abdul?
Yeah, definitely. In sealed, 50 points. I could probably come up with other figure to use for 50 points. You're right. Her charge of a 7 really isn't that impressive. The 11 attack is the base combat reflexes are 17. With combat reflexes of a 19 for close. That's great and all. But with high attacks out there, you're right. She doesn't impress me at all. I would give her probably a 1 in sealed and believe it or not, a 2 in constructed, only if she's coupled with Annabelle. Like if you start, as you said, started with Annabelle, and then later on, once Annabelle, does her single or double outwit based on the amount of tokens, and then she can just, after the opposing character's attack that's been outwitted, and she can turn into, Annabelle can turn into Valkyrie and then move in and attack. So that's why she has a 2.
All right, I agree with you on both of those. I would say a 1 in sealed and a 2 in constructed. I did not have much luck with her in sealed. I did pull her, and didn't enjoy that one. So
yeah, she bit the dust a little too early.
A little bit too early. Yeah. Well, she kind of just sat in the back because she was too slow. She was too slow.
Yeah, that's 7 speed is just bad.
Let's see what we got here. The next figure is Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is set number 27. He's an uncommon. He's 50 points. He's got the team player, team ability, so he's got the wild card. 3 targets with 0 range. I think this is one of the first times we've seen that. He's got 10 speed with charge, 11 attack with special power, 18 defense with super senses, and 3 damage with exploit weakness. He has traded flurry, the deadly hands of kung fu, traded flurry. And then he's got an attack power throughout his whole dial, pressure points, incapacitate, unique modifier. When Shang-Chi uses it until your next turn, hit characters given an action token modified damage -1. I mean, normally I'm not using that incapacitate power, but it could come in handy if you need it situationally. Normally I'm using the exploit, the flurry exploit. And you could do 3 targets with the flurry exploit, so you could potentially do like one. You could, if you're, let's say you're based with next to 3 characters, you could hit them all for 1 penetrating, and then second attack hit them all for another penetrating. So you can hit 3 characters for 2 penetrating. Kind of a cool effect that kind of is very like martial arts like. So I like the flavor in this character, the way that like comic accuracy, I like it. Not sure how I feel about him overall. I think he would be, for me, I would give him a 2 in sealed and a well, he's got Avengers. maybe a 1 or a high 1 in competitive. No, probably just a 1 in competitive. I don't think he'll see competitive play, but I'd give him a 2 in sealed.
Yeah, no, I see why you're saying that. Yeah, in sealed, he's he's good. He doesn't have improvement elevated, which would probably boost him up even more. Or he can't ignore blocking if he decides to charge through it. I would probably give him a 1 in sealed and a 1 in competitive. 1 in sealed because with all the other figures that are out there that possibly give out other traits such as maybe super senses or toughness. I know those figures such as Hulk and Spider-Man are higher costed figures, but I would definitely play those figures over this figure. The flurry is really nice. 11 attack is nice as well too, but I don't know. I'm a little underwhelmed by this figure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad because he is a great character. Like Shang-Chi's an awesome character.
Oh, absolutely.
Flurry exploit is really good though. Like, I mean, you could just do. You don't have to triple target when you're attacking. You could just deal one character 6 damage if you happen to hit. I mean,
yeah, no, totally.
I don't know. There's potential there in sealed, but I think you're right. There's a lot of other figures that are just hit really hard in sealed. So I don't know.
I hear you. If for if they changed his trait from flurry to perhaps close combat expert, which would make sense for for anyone with a martial arts keyword. I think there it would probably put him over the top for me to definitely make sure give him a 2 in sealed and then a potential 2 in constructed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the next figure, which is Kid Loki. Kid Loki is an uncommon. He's 50 points. He's got the Guardians team ability, 6 range, single target. He's got 9 speed with mind control, 10 attack with telekinesis, 18 defense with super senses, and 2 damage with leadership. He has a trait, We Save the Galaxy Power, if Kid Loki is adjacent to a friendly 53A, the Destroyer. Give the Destroyer a move action as free. After resolutions, the Destroyer may make an attack. Sounds really cool if you're playing him with the Destroyer. The Destroyer, right. I think, is 150 points for the non-prime Destroyer, as 150 points. So that's 200 points of your build. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this Kid Loki. I mean, he's good because he's got TK and leadership. But for 50 points, like I think if you need a leadership or if you need that power set on your team, you go with him. But I don't think I would give him a 1 in both. I think in both sealed and constructed. I'm not big on Kid Loki.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. To me, this Kid Loki kind of reminds me of I think it was Galactic Guardians Mole Man, where he can Mole Man would mind control a monster and just have them move up and then attack. Pretty much the same idea here, where he's giving Destroyer a move action as free, but then again, you have, as you said, you have to play Destroyer. If Destroyer wasn't in the game, this figure would more or less just be completely underwhelming. I would give him both a 1 in sealed and a 1 in constructed.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at the next figure, which is Angela. Angela, a very basic dial, 50 points, Guardians team ability, 0 range with 2 targets. She's a flyer, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack with blades, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with exploit. So you're pretty standard charge, blades, exploit figure. She can deal 6 penetrating, maximum, which is really good. Also 2 targets, so she can divide that by 2 targets. She's got the as Guardian, Assassin, Deity, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Warrior keywords. I think in constructive, there's a lot better choices for 50 points. In sealed, if you need a low point attacker, she's good. if you have 50 points to fill. But she's nothing special.
Sure.
She doesn't have any special abilities or anything. So I would just give her like a high 1 in sealed and a 1 in constructed.
I completely agree. Point wise, I think she's well costed for her at 50 points. With starting 18 defense and vulnerability, she's got the attack of blaze with exploit. But overall, as you said, there's other figures out there in sealed and constructed around that point value that can just add much more value to your sealed and constructed team. So even with she has flight and charge 10, that still doesn't really impress me all that much. So overall, I would give her a 1, both sealed and constructed.
Okay. And let's see. I think we have one more uncommon to go in the set. So let's take a look at the last uncommon. Donald Blake. Donald Blake, set number 30. 90 points. He's got cosmic energy. We haven't seen that a lot in this set. Cosmic energy team ability. 0 range with 3 targets. He has a charge with 8 speed, 11 attack with quake, 18 defense with impervious, 3 damage. Asgardian, cosmic, and mystical keywords. Trait: when Donald Blake makes a close attack, his targets can't use defense powers. So he just kind of eliminates a lot of different defense powers. Well, any defense power, he just eliminates it when he attacks. So I think he's good in sealed. Also, I think for 90 points, that effect is not good enough in competitive. So I would give him a 1 in competitive, but in sealed, I might give him a 2. What about you?
That's really interesting. In sealed, I did face off against him. I like him. I like him in sealed. The movement is a bit low, but it's understandable because of the figure, because of the character itself, I should say. The 11 attack with quake does make him more of a threat than you want to let on. Because once he makes a close attack, these targets can't use their defensive powers. So no invincible, no invulnerability, no impervious, no super senses, no combat reflexes. Nothing. I think that's a great way to be able to break up your opponent's defense that they've got lined up. I'd give him a 2 in sealed, and I would actually give him a 2 in constructed, and because I think he's got a tremendous potential because of the fact that he ignores defensive powers, or opponents can't use defensive powers, which means he gets around stop clicks. Which is very, very abundant in the game nowadays. And so I think he's got tremendous potential. The only thing holding him back right now is that 90-point marker. But if you can find a way to either swap him in because you need to, or if you can swap him in somehow, yeah, I think he can do a lot of damage to an opposing team.
Yeah. What did you say was the only thing drawback was the 90 points?
Yeah, the 90 points. 90 points is it's heavy. I understand he's got the cosmic energy, which is, can he do without the cosmic energy? Sure, absolutely. If you remove that and you drop him down to maybe 75 points, then I would definitely give him a solid 2.
Yeah, or if you made him like tougher to KO, like you gave him a stop click or something like that. Because
sure.
in competitive, he could be pretty easily taken out. I mean, it looks pretty deep, his dial, but I don't know. In competitive, there's a lot of ways to get around that.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look. But he has cosmic energy, so he can't be outwitted. So that's good.
That's true.
All right, so that was the end of the uncommons for Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms. We just took a look at the uncommons, and now we're going to be looking at. Stay tuned because we're going to be looking at the rares. We're back, and we're going to be looking at the rares of the Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms set review. I'm Teelish, and joining me is Abdul Manikram from Team Pushin, my fellow team member. And let's just jump right in, and let's take a look at the first figure of the rares from Avengers War of the Realms. It is Thor, set number 31. He is 75 points. He's 6 range with a single target. He's got a shifting focus trait, so he's another shifting focus Thor. That's it. That's his only special ability or trait. Is he's got shifting focus. He's got 8 speed with running shot. He's a flyer. 10 attack with energy explosion. 18 defense with toughness, and 3 damage. Abdul, what do you think about rare shifting focus Thor?
I teammates will probably tell everyone out there I'm a big Thor fan. I've built many Thor teams back in the day. Looking at this piece, he's got a sweet spot right in the middle of his dial. Clicks 4 and clicks 5. He has potential, but in sealed and even in constructed, the 75-point tagline is just it's too much to field him. The 75-point Thor from Captain America and the Avengers has much better stats and much better damage. He has much more to offer. I would give this piece a 1 in sealed and a 1 in constructed. Believe it or not.
I agree. In sealed, he's not very good. The 10 attack is just not going to cut it in sealed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tend to agree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So next, let's look at Moon Knight. Moon Knight is set number 32, the next rare in the set. He is 70 points. He's got team player, which means he's got wild card. He's got 5 range with triple target, 9 speed with running shot, 11 attack, 18 defense with toughness, 3 damage. He also, he has a special power on his attack power, but he doesn't get it until click 2. He has a speed. He has improved movement elevated. He has a trait. There isn't a hit he wouldn't rather take. When Moon Knight takes damage from an opposing character's attack, give him a vengeance token. At the beginning of your turn, you may remove 2 vengeance tokens. If you do, modify Moon Knight's combat values +1 until your next turn. And then an attack power, carving a path for Khonshu. He gets this on click 2. Blaze Claw's Fangs, Quake, and Steel Energy. When one or more opposing characters takes damage from Moon Knight's attack, give him a vengeance token. So, an interesting figure. He has to get hurt to gain his first vengeance token.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he gets knocked onto one of those clicks, he can deal damage to another character to get another vengeance token. And then you have to remove 2 vengeance tokens at the beginning of your turn to boost your combat values by 1. He's 70 points. He's got a lot of keywords: Avengers, Defenders, Detective, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Knights, Midnight Suns, and Mystical. Real name Mark Spector. I think for me, he's a 1 in both sealed and constructed. I don't really like him that much.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that. Just sitting there looking at his style, he does have 7 clicks, which is nice. But as you mentioned earlier, in order for him to utilize, his true potential of getting +1 combat values, he's got to take enough damage to have 2 vengeance tokens. So hypothetically, the average damage value out there of a character now is like 3 damage. So the first attack would put him on click number 3, and then he's got combat reflexes, 17 defense. And if he takes another 3, he's down to click 6, 2 clicks away from KO. Unfortunately, I'm underwhelmed by this character. I do like the powers. I do like the fact that he's got Steel Energy. If somehow or another it was modified, if it was updated, like a revised Steel Energy where instead of healing 1, he had to, he would be able to heal 2 off of 1 attack, then he would be more worthwhile in my opinion. But taking enough damage to get 2 vengeance tokens means this guy's going to be anywhere between clicks 5 and 6 when he comes back to your turn. I would definitely give him a 1 as well in sealed and constructed.
All right. I do like the Moon Knight character as well. I kind of hoped they would make him really good, but I don't think so. Let's take a look at Black Knight. Black Knight is set number 33. He's a rare. He's 75 points. He's got the Avengers team ability, 0 range with 2 targets, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack with a special, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with outwit. He's got the Avengers, Defenders, Excalibur, Heroes for Hire, Mystical, Scientist, and Warrior keywords. His attack power that he has through its entire dial is Photon Sword, Blaze Claw's Fangs. When Black Knight uses it after resolutions, give the hit character an action token. And then a defense power that he gets a little bit later on is Avalon, Toughness, free, choose one to last until your next turn, combat reflexes, or energy shield deflection. So, I mean, he's pretty straightforward. He's got outwit, which is good. He's got charge. He's charge blades figure. I think he's a little overcosted for 75 points. I would also give him a 1 in both sealed and constructed. What about you, Abdul?
Yeah, yeah, he's got a decent dial again. He's got a 7-click dial. Top dial outwit is great, especially if you want to just move in and charge and be able to deal your damage with Blaze Claw's Fangs. But overall, if he had Flurry, I would give him a 2, but he doesn't. Unfortunately, for both sealed and constructed, the way he is, I'm just going to give him a 1 for both.
All right, let's take a look at King Ulik. King Ulik is 65 points. He is a rare. He's got 0 range with a single target, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with impervious, and 3 damage with exploit weakness. Pretty basic dial. He's got as Guardian, Brute, and Monster, and Ruler keywords. But the interesting thing about him is that he's got a trait, Unstoppable Army of Trolls, Leadership, and Mastermind. When King Ulik uses Leadership and succeeds, you may instead generate a Rock Troll bystander. The Rock Troll is, you can see here, is 7 speed with charge, and then he's got 11 attack, 18 defense, and 3 damage. So, I mean, I don't know about this King Ulik. He could be good in sealed because, you know, making bystanders is pretty good in sealed, but I don't think he's anything special. What do you think, Abdul?
I can see that. Yeah, in sealed, he's your average, 65-point brick, so to speak, where they've got the 11 attack with the 18 defense and at least 3 damage with, there's either penetrating or close combat expert. He's got, he has potential in sealed. In constructed, he does have also potential there, but it's very difficult to pull off because you've got to be able to hit that leadership in order to bring out the rock troll that could do something to your opponent. But at the same token, not hitting leadership is very common. I would give him a low 2 in sealed and in constructed. Does he have potential there? Sure. You can put him on a monster or ruler theme team and just start generating out, soldiers to go fight your opponent. But other than that, yeah, he's just kind of blah.
Yeah, I agree. And let's take a look at Curse. Curse is set number 35. He's 60 points, 0 range with a single target, 10 speed with a special, 11 attack, 18 defense with another special, and then 3 damage with outwit. His speed special is charge, sidestep, and giant reach 2. That's pretty good. And then his attack special is living armor, invulnerability. Curse takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks or attacks from equipped characters. Protected outwit. Hey, that's pretty good for 60 points. I mean, you probably want to get in close against him and try to use like a figure with exploit to try to get rid of him. The fact that he has outwit makes him pretty useful, especially with sidestep. I mean, I think he's pretty useful. Also, he's got some pretty good keywords, mystical and monster.
Yeah,
Might give him a 2 in both. I think. I don't know. Maybe like a high 1 in constructed and a 2 in sealed. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, invulnerability is a little bit squishy for in this sealed format because of
hmm
so many figures that deal a lot of damage, and he's only got 6 clicks of life. In War of the Realms, there's a lot of like long figures with good defenses, but
sure.
I think he's good.
Yeah, looking at the figure, we're not in sealed. I would give him a low 2 based on the amount of Psychic Blast exploit weakness that I've seen. So the Protected Outwit doesn't really help him in sealed. Where it does help him is going to be constructed. So he'll take a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks or from equipped characters. I'm kind of curious to see how that interacts with Psychic Blast. From a range attack, does he take the 1 damage, or does he actually take the printed damage that the character's dealing out? So that's something to take a look at.
I think he would take 1 damage penetrating, but it would still be just 1. So
Interesting.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and then we'll see on that. We'll have to get a ruling on that. Charge, sidestep, giant reach 2. That has potential because he has a charge of 10, so 5 move, sidestep first. So that's 7. Giant reach 2. That adds another 2 there. So you're looking at potentially covering 9 squares to make a close attack. And that's great. Other than that, I would give him a low 2 in constructed. In sealed, yeah, definitely a low 2.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And let's take a look at Baron Zemo. And Baron Zemo has 2-point lines, 75 points and 35 points. Okay, so this Baron Zemo is 75 points, 6 range, single target, Masters of Evil team ability, 9 speed with charge, 11 attack with blades, 18 defense with mastermind, 3 damage with a special. The special is your strategy is pathetic compared to mine, leadership and outwit. Um, and at 35 points, I think that's where you want to look at him. Is 35 points. He's 8 speed with stealth, 10 attack with telekinesis, 17 defense with mastermind, and 2 damage with leadership and outwit. I mean, he's got the ruler keyword, so I don't know, but the thing is he's got a trait. He's got the recruiter trait, and the recruiter trait is for characters with the Masters of Evil keyword. So, if you're playing Masters of Evil on your team, I think he's great because he's very low costed. We looked at Captain America, that was 45 points for
Mm-hmm.
recruiter.
Yep.
This Baron Zemo is actually 35 points. Has got recruiter. He's also got really good stats because he's got telekinesis and he's got mastermind and he's got outwit and he's got leadership. So if you put him on a ruler team or on a Masters of Evil team, I think he would be really good. So I would give him 2 in constructed and maybe less in sealed because you usually don't find recruiter. You usually aren't able to use recruiter in sealed too often. So I would give him like a high 1 in sealed, but like a 2 in constructed.
Yeah, taking a look at him at the 75-point marker, and even at the 35 point. For 75 points in sealed, I could probably utilize those points for something else, for someone else. Hulk, Miles Morales, somebody else that's going to offer more to my team. Not too sold on him at 75 points. At 35 points, he's good. For both 35 points in constructed, he's good for if you're playing a ruler, soldier, thunderbolts, or masters of evil, and you want to bring in a figure, there's the recruiter trait. But other than that, nothing too special in my opinion. Especially at the 35-point dial, he's only got 3 clicks of life. I'm gonna judge this one a little harder, a little harsher. I would give him a 1 for both, a high 1, but just a 1 for both for now because I'm not too impressed.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now, Masters of Evil is not really a keyword that people use in constructed. So that's the whole thing. Is
Yeah.
all right. Let's take a look at and I definitely see what you're saying there. Let's take a look at Thing. No, oops, I read that wrong. Throg. Thing. I'm like Thing. Okay. Throg at 35 points. This is 30 set number 37A. Uh, he's he's got the Guardian's team ability, 0 range, single target, 7 speed with a special, 11 attack with Quake, 18 defense with toughness, 2 damage with close combat expert. He is tiny sized. He's also got the dolphin symbol, which means that if he's in occupying water, he can he can't be targeted outside of 4 squares, I think, by opposing characters, or
Right.
Which is, I mean, that's how they changed the dolphin symbol.
Dolphins. Right.
Tiny size gives him +1 from against range attacks. He's got the animal as Guardian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Warrior keywords. Real name Simon Walterson, which is a play on Walt Simonson. His special is puddle jumping, sidestep, free if Throg occupies water terrain. Place him in a square of water terrain within 6 squares and line of fire. So, I mean, I guess the idea with him is you want to play him on a water map or someone who generates water, and then you can place him 6 squares and then sidestep him and then make a close attack, I guess. I don't see much for him. I mean, outside of just being a close attacker. For 35 points. I think he's a fun piece for sure, but I'd give him a 1 in competitive and probably a 1 in sealed.
Yeah, looking at this piece too, I'm a little. I like it. He does have the potential to, cover a great distance with his puddle jumping, and he can sidestep, and then he can move up and then close combat, Quake. But that's very situational. This is a piece that I would definitely need to hold back, or if this was going to be my opening attack, I'd be a little iffy on this. I definitely would give him a high 1 in constructed and a high 1 in sealed as well.
All right, let's take a look at Frog Thor. This is the prime version of Throg. Frog Thor. I mean, it's not actually technically Throg. It's a different character. Real name Thor Odinson. So this is actually Thor turned into a frog, I guess. I don't really know the character that well, but he's 40 points, 0 range, single target, 8 speed with charge, 11 attack with Quake, 17 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with leadership, animal, Asgardian, and mystical keywords. He has a trait, Puddle Leap, at the beginning of the game. Generate up to 6 squares water terrain markers anywhere on the map that aren't within 3 squares of each other. Free if Frog Thor occupies water terrain. Place him in a square of water terrain within 6 squares and line of fire. So he makes his own water and does something very similar to the other Throg that we just looked at. He's tiny sized and dolphin. Is his special power. He has a special power that he gains later on in his dial. What do you call a 6'6" fighting mad bull frog? Close combat expert. Frog Thor has regular standard damage symbol, protected pulse wave. So, I mean, we're not really big on this Frog Thor either. He's got charge instead of sidestep. The other one had sidestep. This one has leadership. I'm not sure if the other one had leadership. He makes his own water terrain that he can jump around in. But other than that, I'm not really impressed.
Yeah, I can see why you would say that. In sealed, I would probably end up, if I didn't have any other 40-point pieces, and and my team was centered around Animal, Asgardian, Mystical, or had a couple pieces that were less than 40 points, sure, I'd put him on there. I'd give him like a high one in sealed. For constructed, he does have potential. He does create his own water terrain, but then again, he's just it's for everything else he brings to the table. It just I don't think it's worth it. And that, so I would give him a high one in constructed as well.
All right. All right. That's fine. And Throg and Frog Thor seem like really fun characters.
They
So
do.
I think in casual play they would be really fun to use. So we're not knocking them at all, but like in because they do look fun. They're not horrible. They just I don't think they would be good in those formats. Let's take a look at the next figure. This rare I'm pretty excited about. This is Mary Jane, set number 38. This is the Asgardian version of Mary Jane Watson. And she's 60 points or 40 points. So she's got 2 dials. She's got her 40-point dial starts on click 3. She's got 6 range with 2 targets. She's got the Spider-Man team ability. Asgardian, celebrity, deity, and Spider-Man family keywords. Real name Mary Jane Watson Parker. She's got a trait, My Kind of Allies. When establishing theme teams, characters on your starting force with the Asgardian or deity keyword gain the Spider-Man family keyword. So that's really good right there, because we haven't seen that since Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage set came out, where they did the Spider-Man family
Right.
keyword
Mhm.
crossing over. And then there's another trait, Call in Help from the Spider-Verse. When Mary Jane hits an opposing character, if no characters has been placed this turn, after resolutions, you may roll a d6. And if you roll 3 through 6, place another friendly character with the Spider-Man family keyword adjacent. Then she's got a damage power that she will have on her starting click, regardless of what point line. Pinned by the hammer. When Mary Jane hits with a range attack, choose a hit target. Until your next turn, that character has immobile and modifies attack and defense -1. And that's combined with energy explosion, so you could hit a bunch of targets and then pick one to be immobile. So, Abdul, what are your thoughts on Mary Jane?
I like her. In sealed, I would probably end up utilizing her pinned by the hammer a lot more than I would, obviously My Kind of Allies, because um, it's you could probably do a theme team with them in sealed and try to give yourself a little bit of an edge to choose the map, and then of course have your theme team prop. So I would give her like a low 2 in sealed. And constructed, I would give her like a medium double espresso, because I can see someone playing her at the 40-point value, and then putting together a really nice conglomerate of Asgardians and scientists and or other keyword figures to bring more to the table. I think she's got potential. I'd like to see what comes out of this. What comes out of her in the near future for constructed.
Yeah, I think she's got potential in constructed. I totally agree with you. I'd give her like 2s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at Captain Marvel, set number 39. She also has 2 starting lines. She is basically a recruiter for the Kree keyword. Her 50-point line is 3 clicks long. She's got invulnerable, quake, charge, and close combat expert. A 10 speed, 11 attack, 18 defense, and 3 damage. 6 range, single target. Avengers team ability and Guardians team ability. At 100 points, she's 6 clicks long, and she starts with 11 speed, running shot, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 18 defense with invulnerable, and 4 damage with probability control. So she comes in at either 100 or 50. I mean, I think Kree is. I think she's too many points. Personally, she definitely can deal some damage, and she can be good because she's got penetrating psychic blast and prob. She could be really good in sealed. I would give her maybe a high 1 in sealed, maybe a 2 in sealed, and also a 1 in constructed.
Yeah, I like the 11 to move running shot. That's nice that you move up 6 and shoot for 6 with Psychic Blast, 4 damage with the prob just in case you happen to miss your target. In constructed, I don't really think I would honestly see her, on my opponent's team. Even at 50 points, being a Kree recruiter, there's not that many Kree out there that I think, once one of your figures are KO'd, if you could bring someone else in that would make an impact to the game to help you win. Yeah, I would give her a high 1 maybe in constructors and a very low 2 in sealed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. And then let's take a look at Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Wasp is set number 40. She's 60 points. Avengers team ability, 6 range with 2 targets, 8 speed with running shot, 11 attack with energy explosion, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with leadership. She has the recruiter for Avengers, so she's another Avengers recruiter. So that's really good. It should be, because I think she's definitely in one of the original Avengers.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then also she has another trait, Pim Particles, free. Choose one, tiny size, standard, or giant size. Wasp has the chosen symbol until you choose again, protected pulse wave. So that could be useful. All in all, I think she's just like a 1, and she's like a high 1 in sealed and a 1 in constructed.
Interesting. Looking at her in sealed, I like the running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion with the 3 damage, and the leadership to try and help clear your team and remove tokens whenever. Choosing the tiny size, when she's attacking, or if she needs the giant size to see over folks to hit the figures in the back to make more of an impact in the game. She's got potential there. In constructed, I would probably give her a very low 2. She has potential. She's 15 more points than I think it was the common 45-point Captain America that was also a recruiter, or uncommon Captain America that was a recruiter. And I believe the difference there is going to be the Pim Particles of her being able to grow in size and shape. Yeah, overall low 2 in constructed and 2 in sealed.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I get that, because she's got a leadership and she's got the energy. She can make herself bigger, so she can see over things. That's really good. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at Thunderstrike. 75 points, Thunderstrike. He's got 9 speed. He's 75 points. Guardian's team ability, 6 range with single target, 9 speed with charge. He's a flyer, 11 attack with penetrating psychic blast and quake as his special power, thunder and lightning. 18 defense with invulnerable and 4 damage. Very bland piece, I think, this Thunderstrike. I would give him a 1 in both. Personally, I don't in both constructed and sealed. I mean, there's way better options than sealed for 75 points, I think.
Very good. I may actually give out my first 0 with this figure. There's he's such a bland, like, generic, issue of a figure. The psychic blast is nice with Quake. She's got flight, charge of charge 9 to move up 5, and then Quake if you need to. But other than that, he just seems like something else I can get at. I can get more out of the 75 points you choosing other figures. I don't really see anything. I don't really see him being played in constructed or even in sealed.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him in sealed unless I had no other choice.
No other option. I'm pretty sure the sculpt looks great and all. It's just I wish there was more to it than this guy.
All right, let's take a look at, let's see how many rares we have left. So, all right, a few more. So we have Valkyrie is 70 points, and she's set number 42. She is 10 speed, 11 attack with a special, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage, 0 range with 2 targets. Asgardian, Brute, Exiles, and Warriors keywords. Her trait, Lone Defender of Asgardian. Valkyrie can reduce penetrating damage dealt by non-adjacent characters. When Valkyrie is dealt damage by an adjacent character, reduce damage taken by 1 in addition to other effects. So, okay.
It's not bad. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
so she can potentially reduce 3 damage unless it's penetrating. And she's got an attack power, Dragon Fang, and Gear. Blades cause fangs, but may use it if targeting up to 2 characters, and rolls a separate d6 for each hit character. Okay, so Abdul, what do you think about Valkyrie? This Valkyrie?
Valkyrie and Sealed. I would actually choose her over Thunderstrike. No, I know she's 5 points cheaper or whatever, but the Dragon Fang and Gear, that's a great boon to her. She's got double bolts, so she can target more than up to 2 characters. And the fact that she's able to reduce the penetrating damage dealt by non-adjacent characters is really nice. And then the other effect, when she's dealt damage by adjacent characters, if her invulnerability isn't outwitted, and they're only dealing 3 damage, if they're dealing 4 damage, she's ultimately taking 1 after invulnerability, and after the remaining 2 are dealt. I like her. I would give her a 2 in Sealed, a high 1 in Constructed.
Yeah, a 2 in Sealed for sure. I mean, at 70 points, she's pretty cheap for what she does, I guess. I mean, if you manage to get that off, like the double blades for on two opposing characters, that's just fun. Sure. That's just like a fun thing to do. like,
oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, I like it. All right, let's take a look at Wrecker. This is Wrecker, the non-prime. Set number 43A, 70 points, 0 range with 2 targets. He's 9 speed with charge, 11 attack with quake, 17 defense with impervious, 3 damage with close combat expert. He's got the Masters of Evil team ability. He's got the Brute, Masters of Evil, and Wrecking Crew keywords. Real name Dirk Garthwaite. He has improved movement, destroys blocking. He's got a trait, pound you into pavement. When Wrecker hits with a close attack after resolutions, you may generate a debris marker in a hit target's square. Unique modifier, opposing characters occupying or adjacent to 1 or more debris markers modify attack -1. And that's actually, I didn't realize that's that could be debris markers anywhere on the map, and it doesn't have to be his debris markers. It could be any debris markers on the map, as long as opposing characters are occupying or adjacent to those debris markers, they get -1 attack. So that's interesting. Interesting little interaction. I don't think he's crazy good. I think he's okay. This is the non-prime. We're going to look at the prime next, who's a lot better. I mean, I think I'd give him a high 1 in Sealed, and like maybe a high 1 in Constructed also. I don't know.
It's interesting.
What do you think?
Just looking at him, I like the close combat expert top dial along with Quake. In Sealed, I can see him tying up the opposing force quite a bit especially when he charges in. Quakes with close combat expert, and then he's potentially going to hit if he hits 2 or 3 targets. And then he generates debris marker under everyone. And then next turn, if they decide, if they're stuck there and they can't go anywhere and retaliate on them, they're attacking at a -1 attack. So I like that a lot. I'll give him a 2 in sealed. In constructed, he does have potential if he's on a Wrecking Crew or Masters of Evil team. So I'd give him probably like a high 1, a very, 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 very low 2 in constructed.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Masters of Evil is going to become a stronger keyword. I don't know.
We are starting to see more and more figures with Masters of Evil TA and Masters of Evil keyword as well. So it's out there. It just has to be put together.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right, so let's take a look at the Prime. This is Wrecker Prime, set number 43B, 75 points, Masters of Evil team ability, 0 range with single target. He's got sidestep with 8 speed, 11 attack, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with leadership. He's got improved movement, destroys blocking. He's got a trait. The bystanders on his card are Wrecking Crew. Free, generate a Wrecking Crew bystander that hasn't already been generated this game. So you can do one. There's three bystanders. You can do one of each of them for the entire game. So you can do it 3 times. Free, generate a Wrecking Crew. Okay. Once per turn per character, whenever Wrecker or a Wrecking Crew bystander destroys a wall or a square of blocking terrain closer to an opponent's starting area than your own, gain 1 mission point. Okay. And then he's also got a stop click. His last click is a stop click, impervious and regeneration. So interesting mission point figure. If we look at his bystanders, we have Bulldozer, who and who's got charge and impervious. But it's important to note that all of the bystanders also have improved movement, destroys blocking. So the bystanders themselves can just walk through blocking and destroy blocking, and they can be generated for free. So, I mean, I'll admit, in the sealed tournament yesterday that I played in, I lost 2 mission points with a team against a team that was using this wrecker. So we played on a blocking map, and that's all my opponent did was just move through blocking in the entire game. And I kind of ignored Wrecker, and I shouldn't have slept on him because I did not think that it would accumulate that fast, and it did. So, mission points can work, especially in sealed and in like a format like that. This Wrecker is pretty good. Also, the fact that he can generate the bystanders for free means that you can use him in an alpha strike potentially as well, because if you could just carry him up or something like that, or move him up, and then you could free generate a bystander, a generate pile driver who has flurry with 10 attack and 3 damage. So that's a potential. There's some potential there too. I would give this Wrecker Prime a 2 or even a high 2 in constructed, and a 2 in sealed as well. What do you think, Abdul?
I like him. I like him a lot. In sealed, I'll definitely give him a high 2. Sorry. In constructed, I can see him being played on a Masters of Evil mission point theme team. If you combine him with the Ultron that just came out recently, they can start gaining mission points pretty easily, especially if all Wrecker has to do is sidestep and bust through a wall even after being carried, and it's closer to your opponent's starting area, then definitely you can start getting mission points. And if, unfortunately you had other pieces to deal with yesterday during your game, if you end up ignoring him and then on your opponent's next turn, he's got, he generates 1. Now he's gaining, 2 additional mission points on top of the one he earned last time. So now he's up to 3, and then it starts to snowball after that. And then if you're using that Ultron and they're, the Ultron drones get closer to your opponent's starting area, or they're in the starting area. Now you're gaining additional mission points. So he's got tremendous potential. I'm definitely going to give him a solid 2. I believe it's going to be a 3. But it's got to, he's got the potential for a mission point team.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Wrecker Prime, both big on him. Let's take a look at. Okay, so we are down to our last rare. This is Thor, set number 44. This is the Jane Foster version of Thor, the Mighty Thor. And she's 100 points. She's got the Avengers team ability, 0 range with a single target. She's got 10 speed with special, 11 attack with just 11 attack, but she gets Quake later on her dial. 18 defense with a special and 4 damage. She's got the Asgardian, Avengers, and Deity keywords. Real name Jane Foster. She's traded Let Fly Mjolnir. Free if Thor hasn't been moved or placed this turn, and if no opposing character is adjacent, generate a Mjolnir marker, max 1. Free, roll 2d6. For each d6 result, you choose the order. Choose a horizontal or vertical direct path from the Mjolnir marker, and then place the marker exactly that many squares away along the direct path. If either path first crosses a square occupied by an opposing character, remove the marker and then make a close attack targeting that character regardless of adjacency, or a piece of blocking terrain, remove the marker and then destroy that piece of blocking terrain. So that's pretty much exactly the same trait that Darkseid has from Justice League Unlimited. But they just, instead of the Omega Beam, it's now Mjolnir flying around the map, which is kind of cool. Also, her speed power is Goddess of Thunder, charge. When Thor uses it, if her Mjolnir marker is not on the map, don't half speed. So she has full speed charge. And then she's got a defense power, hammer spin, impervious, energy shield deflection, but only if Thor's Mjolnir marker is not on the map. So she doesn't have to use that Mjolnir marker. She can just full move charge and have energy shield deflection added to her impervious. She's 100 points. I think she's a solid 2 in sealed. I think she's definitely a fun piece. I don't see her usable in constructed. I think at 100 points, it's too much for her in constructed, even with her full move charge. I would say she's a high 1 in constructed, and she's definitely a 2 in sealed. What's your thoughts?
I love her in sealed. Her Let Fly Mjolnir trait is really nice, especially if you happen to roll well enough that it ends up crossing over an opponent. Definitely, it's a great trait to try and take out a piece of blocking terrain that's preventing you from getting to your the opposing characters and whatnot. And then the Goddess of Thunder charge, and then if she doesn't have speed movement, if Mjolnir is not on the map, very nice to have. Overall, though, in constructed, I would give her a very low 2, just because of her point cost. If she was 75 points, I can definitely see her getting played a little bit more than since she's 100 points. I don't think she's going to get played that much.
Right. I agree. I agree with that. All right, so let's take a look at. So those were the rares. So we have completed the commons, the uncommons, and the rares from Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms. Stay tuned because we're going to be looking at the super rares. Welcome back. Now we're going to be looking at the super rares from Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms. We're doing a set review. I'm joined by Abdul Manikram from Team Pushin, fellow Pushin member. And we're going to be looking at, we looked at the commons, uncommons, and rares. Let's look at the super rares. Let's take a look at our first super rare, which is Thor, set number 45. This is the third shifting focus Thor that we've seen. 75 points, 0 range, single target, 10 speed with sidestep, 10 attack with a special, 17 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage. Asgardian, Avengers, Deity, and Warrior keywords. He's shifting focus. He has a hammer throw, power, improved targeting, blocking, and characters. Make a close attack regardless of adjacency, targeting all opposing characters within 6 squares along a single direct line of fire. Each hit character is dealt Thor's printed damage printed damage value instead of normal damage. After resolutions, destroy any walls or squares of blocking terrain along the direct line of fire path. So that seems pretty potent. What is your thoughts on this figure, Abdul?
For shifting focus, it seems that this particular version of Thor, it's best utilized if he's taken a significant amount of damage, meaning if he's down at click number 5 or click number 6, to get the best attack, you shifting focus into this, and then bring him out, and then use his hammer throw power action. So in sealed, if you happen to pull both, fantastic. If you don't, and you pull this Thor, I would probably give him a low 2, a high 1. In constructed, unfortunately, I'm not really wowed by this figure too much. Again, the one selling point on this figure is the hammer throw in constructed, but then again, you'd have to use 75 points in your build that you could probably get something better for. So I would give him a high 1 in constructed.
Yeah, I agree with you on both. I mean, everything you just said, I agree with. Thor, not my favorite sealed pull. Not my favorite pull. If I'm pulling a super rare, I'm not really thrilled if I'm getting this. This is my super rare. Let's take a look at Daredevil. Daredevil is set number 46. He is 75 points, cosmic energy, team ability, 0 range with single target, 8 speed with the special and flying, 11 attack with Blaze Claw's Fangs, 19 defense with super senses, his entire dial, and then 3 damage with a special, his entire dial. His trait is that adjacent friendly characters can use super senses. He has a speed power, open the Bifrost, passenger 2, facing teleport and sidestep, passenger 4, but only to carry characters with the Asgardian keyword. So he can potentially move 10 squares and carry 4 people if they're Asgardian. And then his damage power is probability control, but may target a character within 8 squares regardless of line of fire. So like a Uber prob. It's called Heimdall's Sight is the name of the power. So what are your thoughts on Daredevil?
Daredevil's interesting. He's got the facing teleport and sidestep, carry 2. Passenger 2 rather, but if you're going with an Asgardian theme team, you can carry 4 characters. It's really nice. You can be able to carry him into combat, and if you're able to give Daredevil defend, he can defend the characters around him with a 19 defense, and then also give out super senses to those characters that are around him. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that he doesn't have a move and attack ability like charge or something. I would give him a high 1 in constructed. In sealed, I'd probably give him a very low 2.
Yeah, I think a high 1 in constructed as well and a low 2 in sealed. I would agree with you on both of those. Daredevil, I mean, with constructed, you're using a lot of low point cost figures. So, he's very good and he has a lot going on for him as far as special powers. But for 75 points, that you're mainly using as a taxi and support figure, I don't think he's worth it in constructed. But I do think he could see play, so I think I would put him at a high 1 as well in constructed. I agree with you on both of those. Let's take a look at Gamora. Gamora is set number 47. She has she's 80 points, 6 range with a single target, 10 speed, 11 attack with blades, 17 defense with toughness, 3 damage with close combat expert. She's got improved movement, elevated, and characters, and out of a movement out through adjacency. She has a trait, collecting the Infinity Stones, sideline active, unique modifier. Oh, because she's an ally. So I've been forgetting to mention the tags. There are some characters I think I skipped over that were sidekicks and allies and things like that. So I might have been forgetting to mention that. But this Gamora is an ally. Friendly captains and sidekicks modify attack +1 when attacking one or more equipped characters. So, that could be interesting on your sideline if you're using captains and sidekicks. She's got a trait, most dangerous woman in the universe. Super senses. Once per turn, when Gamora hits with a close attack, after resolutions, she may make a range attack. I think that's weird because I think maybe there's a typo here. Maybe she has improved targeting out of adjacency, because that would make more sense.
Yeah, that would. Right.
That would make
We'd
more
have to
sense.
follow up on that.
Yeah, because if she hits with a close attack, she should be able to make a range attack out of adjacency. That just makes sense with her card.
Right.
So, but I mean, overall, I don't really like her that much. She's a little bit too high point cost for me. With 17 defense toughness, she's a little squishy for 80 points. What are your thoughts? Oh, yeah, that's her only point value. Yeah, the next one we're gonna look at is a prime, which has 2 point values.
Yeah, looking at her, for shield, she's good. In that she's got the close combat expert with blades on her top dial. She's one of those figures that starts with a lower defense on her first click than her second click. So I'd still would prefer her to have the 18, on click 1 as opposed to click 2. She does get a little stronger defensively as she goes down the dial. So in seal, that's potentially better for her. But then again, you're taking a lot more damage, and you're taking a little bit more risk with her at that point. I like the close combat expert, increasing your attack value, but I wouldn't necessarily combine that with blades. So it's almost a catch-22. You're dealing, if you hit, you got a 12 attack and you're dealing 4 damage. You can risk it by rolling blades. So you're going to try to get the 5 or 6. 9 times out of 10, I think I would just ignore the blades on these styles, right? So in sealed, I'd probably give her a low 2. In constructed, I don't know if she would actually end up seeing play, especially at 80 points. Her trait, collecting the Infinity Stones. I don't really see too many teams out there in the meta currently that would be able to capitalize on that unique modifier. So yeah, in constructed, I would give her a 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. So let's take a look at Gamora Prime. Gamora Prime is 125 or 60 points. Her 60-point line is on click 4. So just keep that in mind. When she's 60 points, she's on click 4. She's got 7 range triple targets, 7 range 3 targets, Guardians team ability, Police team ability, 12 speed with charge, 12 attack with the special, 18 defense with special, 4 damage with close combat expert. Asgardian, Battleworld, Asgard, Battleworld Other, Guardians of the Galaxy, Police, and Warrior keywords. Real name Gamora. Trait, the deadliest Thor in Battleworld. When Gamora targets more than one character with an attack, instead of dividing the damage, she may deal her printed damage value to each target. So that's crazy right there. So she charges up with 3 targets and hits everybody for a 13-5.
Potentially.
And then
13-4 actually.
Would it be because it's printed damage value. That's correct. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So then she's got another trait. Crack the case wide open. Once per turn, when an opposing character within 4 squares makes an attack, give Gamora an evidence token. free. Remove 2 evidence tokens to replace Gamora adjacent to an opposing character within 4 squares, and then make an attack. So that's an old trait that they took from the Battle World set when the Battle World set came out. And then she's got an attack power, lightning channeled through Godslayer. When Gamora targets a single character with an attack, they can't use defense powers. So she's got some options there to deal quite a bit of damage. And then she has a defense power, combat reflexes, and impervious.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think she's really good. She can definitely deal a lot of damage. And her 60-point line, she's got exploit weakness as well. So I don't know if she really needs it with the can't use defense power thing, but the exploit weakness, I mean, helps if she wants to triple target, because now she can deal 3 penetrating to 3 different characters, potentially. So on her 4th click at 60 points, I think she's great. I think she's high 2 and competitive.
Very nice, interesting. In sealed, listen, this figure all around, when she was first spoiled, I fell in love with her. I love the movement, 12 move with charge. The attack power is just, it's fantastic, especially with the amount of stop clicks that's just present in the game today. She's got the ability to take down almost any figure. She single targets anyone, they're taking 5 damage. If you happen to power her attacks, now they're taking 6. Or she's carrying an object, now they're taking straight 6 with a 13 attack. You can couple her with what's current in the meta, the surfboard, or the exospecs to give her hypersonic. So then she's just coming across the map and then just hitting somebody for 5 damage. I love her. She's going to be the first character, I think, out of the set I would think should be meta. I would give her 3.
You know what? The only thing that holds me back a little bit is her point cost at 125, and also her keywords are not the best. Like she's got Asgardian, which is getting a lot stronger. Obviously, with this set, Asgardian's going to might be pretty strong. But
it is a Thor set.
It is a Thor set. I don't know though. I don't love her cute. Warrior's pretty good. And actually, Police is good too. And that could be potentially a Spider-Man family.
Exactly. Those 2 keywords themselves, even the Asgard one, is going. She's. Oh, that's Battle World Asgard. Gotcha. I thought they repeated Asgardian and Asgard again. I'm like, that's kind of redundant. I don't know why you would have that on the figure. No, she's got tremendous potential. Even if you decided not to build a theme team, you can definitely build a team around her to just one-shot figures left and right. And then, as you pointed out before, she doesn't necessarily have to get that close to deal damage to figures. She has a 7 range with triple target. So if she's triple targeting figures from 7 range, and she's got PD, and if you happen to have other PD members around her, the opposing defenses is down by at least 1. That makes it a lot easier to deal damage to that opposing character.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that you say that, because like you said, you could give her hypersonic or something like that, right? Is that what you said? With the equipment. So her attack power, it says when Gamora targets a single character with an attack. It doesn't necessarily say close attack. It could be a range attack. If she's just targeting one character with a range attack, they still can't use defense powers. So
no, according to the way this is worded, no, I would say that, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're not using your super senses. Nothing's going to help you. The only thing that's going to help you against this attack is shape change.
Yeah.
Or the emotional modifier that's actually out in the meta now today, But your opponent's got to remember to use that and activate Battle Fury.
Well, with Battle Fury, if they activate Battle Fury, then what? You can't shoot them, or no? You can still shoot them. They just can't shoot.
As long as you're with, if you're not within the range of the emotional modifier.
Okay.
If I'm thinking that correctly, because I believe if it's not on Psycho Man, it's a range 4. when it gives out
Oh, and
Battle
that
Fury.
it gives it out to friendly characters or opposing. I forget now, but
We'll
all
have to
right.
take a look at that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, no,
it's a
she's
lot of
really
combinations there.
this girl's
Hmm.
Gamora's really good. She looks really good. I'm excited for her.
Me too.
Let's take a look at Hela. That's an interesting one. Okay. So we have Hela, set number 48, super rare, unique, 125 points, Mystic's team ability, 8 range with single target, 10 speed with running shot, 11 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 18 defense with impervious, 3 damage with exploit weakness. She's got as guardian deity, mystical, and ruler keywords, improved targeting characters. So she's pretty good just in general in sealed. I mean, she can shoot through characters with a lot of penetrating damage and pretty high range. So she's pretty good in sealed. But then she also has this trait, a gathering of the dead. Whenever a standard character is KO'd, generate a grave marker in the square they occupied. Power, generate Draugr warrior bystanders in all unoccupied squares with grave markers within range. Then remove each of those grave markers. Gain 1 mission point for each Draugr warrior generated this action. And then another trait, commanding the dead, leadership and mastermind. So she's got traded leadership and mastermind, which makes her even better. When Hela uses leadership and succeeds, you may instead generate a grave marker. So I think this Hela, personally, I think she's like a 2 or high 2 in sealed, maybe a 3 in sealed, and in constructed. I mean it's weird because there's this whole thing now with her, and you can do like a first or second turn mission point win with her and like 20 Friends of Humanity. But
Right.
but I don't think that's gonna. I think they're gonna do something about that. So, I don't think
Yeah,
that's gonna be available for, as a team build for very long. So I don't know, but
yeah.
I mean, I think in sealed she's very good. That's about it. So what do you think, Abdul?
No, I would tend to agree with you. Both sealed and constructed, she's definitely a top tier piece. Definitely the 3 espresso shot there. The fact that she could, one turn win you the match, based on, all the Friends of Humanities and the pieces out there in current modern world that can actually deal damage to friendly characters, or it is just astounding. And that one figure, thankfully, is going to be rotating out soon, but not soon enough. As it is, I'm hoping that WizKids actually, takes a look at this and says, this has a lot of potential to just make, just not be fair and competitive. I want to see what, if and when they actually do come in with an errata tour, what it's going to be. For right now, I am definitely going to give her, a 3 in constructed and a 3 in sealed. But that's subject to be changed based on the latest errata on her card.
Okay, good. All right, so let's I think we both concur on that one. She's definitely in sealed. She's a 3 as well. Let's take a look at the Valkyrie. This is the third Valkyrie in the set, maybe 4. I don't know. There's been a lot of Valkyries, but it is a Thor set. So this Valkyrie is 100 points and has 6 range with single target, and she's. I think that's the first one that we've seen that has flying though, so that's good because I like to see Valkyrie with like the wings and stuff like that. She's got 10 speed with a special, 11 attack with Quake, 18 defense with Impervious, and 3 damage with Outwit. She's got the Asgardian and Deity keywords. Real name Jane Foster. So this is the Jane Foster version of Valkyrie.
Right.
She's got a trait, Undriarn, the all weapon. Free. Choose a standard attack or standard damage power printed on Valkyrie's card. Valkyrie can use the chosen power until she chooses again. So, she can potentially choose. Even though she has Quake, she can also choose Blades or Steel Energy. And
Hmm.
even though she starts without wit, she can also choose prob or close combat expert. This is her 100-point dial, by the way. There's also a 60-point dial that starts on click 4, where she has the same trait. Then she has another trait. Thor is a god. Thor is a job. When a character damaged by Valkyrie this turn would be KO'd, but isn't, after resolutions, modify Valkyrie's combat values +1 this game. So if you're playing Kreko and Revival against her, she's gonna get beefed up. And then she's got another speed power, which is flying. Mr. Horse, your timing is impeccable. Charge. When Valkyrie uses it, don't half speed unless she has generated a Mr. Horse bystander this game. Once per game, free generate a Mr. Horse bystander. And Mr. Horse this is his stats. 12 speed with flying, so he can carry people around for a long way. 10 attack, 17 defense with toughness, and 2 damage with exploit weakness. So that's a pretty good bystander. What are your thoughts on this Valkyrie?
I like her in sealed. I would definitely give her a solid double espresso. She has the potential to be a triple espresso, depending on how she's played. She can select any power up and down her dial that she has available. If she doesn't generate Mr. Horse, she's got a full move charge, so you can easily TK her anywhere. And then she can charge the rest of the way. What's really nice about her too is Mr. Horse is you can select close combat expert for her on top dial, and then she's got a 12 attack with 4 damage and outwit. After she gets TK'd, she can charge in, deal damage to whomever she needs to deal damage to, generate Mr. Horse, and then he can carry her out of combat. So that's a great moving attack, ability combo, and then you have another attacker on the field. What I wish was a little bit cheaper on her was her point value. At 100 points, that's a third of your build total. So in constructed, I don't really see her being played at all, even at her 60-point value. I don't think that's going to be worth her points at 60 points. She's more worth it at 100 points. So in constructed, I would give her a very low 2, high 1. In sealed, I would give her triple espresso.
In sealed, a triple espresso?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that ability to, I never thought about that. So she can charge in, generate the horse, and then the horse can move her back out.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Because I always was just, what I was just thinking was charge in, generate the horse, and then attack with the horse. But it's actually even better to carry her back out of harm's way. So that's pretty cool. All right. All right, so then let's take a look at Doctor Strange. This is the super rare Doctor Strange. There are 2 Doctor Stranges in this set. This one has 8 range with a single target. He's 50 points. Defenders and Mystics team abilities. He's got 8 speed with phasing teleport, 11 attack with energy explosion, 18 defense with ESD, 3 damage with prob. He targets through hindering. He's a recruiter for mystical keyworded figures. And he's got a trait, Mentor in the Mystic Arts, free once per turn for all characters with this trait. Choose a friendly character with a mystical keyword. This turn, when the chosen character attacks, after resolutions, deal a hit target 1 penetrating damage. So, what are your thoughts, Abdul?
It's good. Defender TA is really nice. That goes along with the Mystics TA. I wish his phasing was switched with sidestep in his top dial. He reminds me of Enchantress, I think. Earlier figure we saw that had the same basically the same power layout where it was phasing top dial and then sidestep at the end. The Mentor in the Mystic Arts gives him a little bit more of an edge. I can see him being played more on Mystic teams, mystical teams, if players decided to go that route. The 8 range is fantastic, especially with energy explosion. And then, he can carry folks in and out of combat along with, and he's got probability control. I would give him in sealed. I would give him a double espresso. In constructed, I would give him a double espresso as well, but a very low one because he's probably better on an Avengers and or mystical theme team.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got some potential in on a mystical team, just because I mean of his effects that he does. Um, Tell me if I'm wrong with this. So let's say I have a Wendigo on my sideline for recruiter, right? And then I
Yep.
also have a Wendigo in the game. I attack with the Wendigo, um, or flurry with the Wendigo. Then, or charge flurry with the Wendigo. Then after resolutions, um, get another free attack with the Wendigo. Do all of those attacks after resolutions now? If I pick that Wendigo with Doctor Strange, do they all deal an extra penetrating damage? So am I dealing like 3 penetrating damage after all 3 attacks?
I think you're right on that one. And just looking at the wording right now, I didn't realize that until you mentioned it. That's a really nice combo. This turn, when the chosen character attacks, after resolutions, deal a hit target 1 penetrating damage. So now you're talking about a Wendigo that does what? They're usually 15 points, dealing 3 damage,
Yeah, 3 exploit.
right?
Yeah.
So if they flurry, they hit 2 attacks, and as you said, they have exploit. That makes them all the more better. I actually, you bringing that to light, I think I actually would change this to a solid 2 to a potential top tier super rare, because and it's really going along with a mystical theme team or a Wendigo. Any mystical piece that has flurry now has the potential to do 2 additional penetrating damage to their target. So this is a really nice figure now.
Yeah, and then also the recruiter, like especially with Wendigo, you can have like you were saying as a last ditch effort. I mean, Wendigo's only 15 points, so you could keep him on your sideline as a recruiter, bring him in when something dies, bring him in,
Yeah,
and you're only giving your opponent 15 points. So
yeah, I like that version a whole hell of a lot than the other recruiters right now. So that recruiter is going, in my opinion, it's going to be something to contend with out there in the meta.
okay, so let's see. The next figure is Crusader. Crusader is 125 points.
Mm-hmm.
She has the Avengers team ability and the X-Men team ability. She's got 6 range with double target. She also has a 75-point line. She's got the Asgardian, Avengers, Battle World, Other, Soldier, and X-Men keywords. Real name Sarah Rogers. So I guess she's Captain America's daughter.
I think so. I'm not too sure about the storyline.
I don't know the storyline that well, but
Mm-hmm.
she's got charge, quake, 19, 12 attack, 12 speed charge, 19 defense with impervious, 4 damage with a special, improved targeting characters, and a trait Mjolnir and Dad's Shield. Free, choose one to use until you choose again. Close combat expert or energy shield deflection. That's traded, and then she's got pretty high stats, and then later on she gets a speed power, sidestep, and flurry. In the beginning of her dial, she has leadership and empower. What are your thoughts on Crusader, Abdul?
I faced off against a Crusader yesterday in a sealed event, and she had potential. It's just my opponent unfortunately didn't utilize her traits too well. Yeah, she in sealed, I would definitely give her a double espresso. That trait Mjolnir and Dad's Shield is just fantastic. She's got a 21 either from range or from close, and you can choose that at any point in on your turn. So you can charge in, attack a number of figures, either quake or just try to hit with and deal 4 damage, and then choose which you'd rather have. You don't want her to get shot because of she's got her side open, or you don't want her getting hit from close, and then that again, that's a 21 from either close or range. So I definitely double espresso in sealed. In constructed, a little bit of a different story. She does have a high point value tag to her at 125 points. Even at her 75 point dial, she's a little overcosted at 75 points for what she does. Her defense drops down on 18, which was helping her, but she still can choose either closer range. I would give her a decent double espresso in constructed.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, it's difficult because she doesn't have. She has range, but she doesn't have any like running shot or anything.
Right.
So, she's just kind of a close combat piece mainly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think she could be a 3 in anything, but she could be 2s all around. So I agree with you.
If on her damage power in the beginning, if it was leadership and close combat expert, because she has got Mjolnir and because she's, we think she's Roger's daughter, and she would have been well trained. I honestly would expect to see close combat expert as opposed to, I believe, what was that, Empower?
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that was reversed, absolutely would choose that. I apologize. She does have close combat expert. She doesn't have combat reflexes. I thought that was combat reflexes.
No, she has to pick close combat expert. So if she picks close combat expert, like let's say she's attacking, then she doesn't get to benefit from energy shell deflection on your opponent's turn.
If that empower was swapped out with something else on there, maybe exploit, she would be great. She'd be much better. Well received in the constructed format.
Well, let's take a look at Iron Allfather. This one's fun. 300 points of goodness. 52, set number 52, Iron Allfather. This is I remember from the series, this is like Odin with like a big Iron Man suit on, basically. He comes in at 300 or 125. So at 300 points, which is like the cool way to play him, I think. He's got 9 range with single target, cosmic energy team ability, armor, Asgardian, Avengers, cosmic deity, mystical, Stark Industries, and Wakanda keywords. Real name Odin Borson. 12 speed with running shot, 13 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 20 defense with natural 20 with impervious, and 5 damage with a special. His special power is close combat expert, exploit weakness, outwit, and probability control. So if he is close attacking, he's close attacking with 14 for 6. With exploit, penetrating because it's exploit. And then with a prob, and then if he is shooting, then he's shooting for 13 for 5 with a 9 range with penetrating. With a prob. So yeah, I mean that's pretty insane. And then he's got a trait, more sons than I care to remember. Free, choose a character on your sideline with the Asgardian keyword, and choose a standard attack or defense power printed on their card. Iron Allfather can use the chosen power until your next turn. So I mean, if you could find an Asgardian with like Mastermind, you could give him. Well, no, with 300 points that won't matter.
I was going to ask you, who else are you putting on that team?
That won't matter at 300 points. Yeah. I mean, what powers would you choose with that sideline thing?
Definitely have an Asgardian with super senses, an Asgardian with shape change. You pick any Enchantress or Loki that actually has it. They can go on sidelines. Definitely choosing an Asgardian with range combat expert if there are any. None really comes to mind right about now. That's the only other power I wish he had in his Stark's design, Wakanda Vibranium and infused Dwarven magic. If he had range combat expert, it would actually fit because he has been in combat for so many years that we don't even know how long he's been around. At 300 points, I could see him definitely in sealed. He's a top tier figure in sealed. I would definitely play him at 300 points. Triple espresso there. In constructed, I can see him being played at 125 points. I would give him a very low double espresso rating on there. His stats at the 125 point mark is still very nice. The 9 range is always excellent in the current format. With Psychic Blast, he doesn't have any improved targeting, hindering or elevated, so or blocking, so that or characters at the 125 point mark. So that's a bit of a drawback there. But he still has, he still has probability control. He still has 18 defense, and he still has cosmic energy. So that is that going for him. A very low double espresso for the 125 point Iron Allfather.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't, if I'm looking at him, I would really only want to play him at 300 points,
right.
Instead of 200, instead of 125. I wish that he was actually a little less powerful and a little bit less points, like maybe like 275, so they could just include something else on the team.
Sure.
But
so what other figures? What?
No, I don't even know. I don't even know actually. Yeah, that's true. Like maybe if he was 250, but I don't even know. But like but Iron Allfather. Yeah, I mean it's cool. You could also give him combat reflexes or ESD from your sideline, and then they'll give him like a 22 defense essentially. So that's just really
true. You'd also need to. Anyway, I'd like to add that if you had somebody that had steel energy on there, it would make it all the more better for Iron Allfather at 300 points. Give him a way to heal up. Otherwise, at 300 points, once somebody hits that 20 defense or to 22 defense, if he has ESD or combat reflexes, it's spiraling down. But then again, that's a very high number, especially in Heroclix nowadays to hit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's meta. I think he's super fun to play, and I'm gonna want to have him just to play for fun. But
oh yeah,
I mean, like I don't think he's meta. I would give him I would give him like a high 1 in constructed, maybe a 2, maybe a low 2, like you said. Let's take a look at the Destroyer. This is the 150 point Destroyer, which is set number 53. He's got 7 range with a single target, 150 points. Guardian's team ability. So I guess the Destroyer is on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Who knew? 7 speed with phasing teleport, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 19 defense with impervious, 4 damage with probability control. He is giant size. Armor as Guardians of the Galaxy, and robot keywords. Traded Unstoppable Juggernaut. Sidestep. At the beginning of your turn, you may move the Destroyer 1 square. So it's kind of like a pseudo 3 square sidestep. And then he has Close Combat Expert and Outwit that he gains on clicks 4, 5, and 6. He's only 150 points. There's no other point value for him. I mean, if you're playing Kid Loki, you can make him move for free. But he basically just has sidestep and that those powers. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about him?
He's for sealed. I would definitely give him double espresso. He's got the 12 attack with Psy Blast, 4 damage with Prime, and he's a giant, so he can see over other characters. He doesn't necessarily need improved targeting characters. The sidestep is nice, and then at the beginning of your turn, you can move him 1 square, in any direction, which is also really nice. The drawbacks are, yes, he's under 50 points. He is a giant in constructed, so he's probably going to get shot first, especially if he's 150 points. That's half your build. I would give him a very high 1 espresso. He's really nice. He looks like a fun piece to play, but overall, I don't expect to see him in constructed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Well, let's take a look at the next one, which is a 100 point Destroyer Prime.
The real destroyer.
The real destroyer. The one that is not a Guardian of the Galaxy. So this destroyer is super rare prime, 100 points. He's got 10 range with a single target, 6 speed with sidestep, his whole dial, 11 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 19 defense with impervious, 4 damage with close combat expert, and he's a giant sized figure. Armor as Guardian, Herald, Mystical, and Robot keywords. He has a trait, Guardian of Odin's Treasure Vault. Sideline active. If the destroyer is on your sideline and an opposing character damages a friendly character with an attack, if either character is equipped, after resolutions, give the destroyer a seeker token, and roll a d6, adding the number of seeker tokens to the result. 6 plus. So if you roll 6 or more, generate the destroyer from your sideline in a square along the edge of the map in the same row or column of an equipped character. Then remove all seeker tokens and turn the destroyer's dial to click X, where X is the number of seeker tokens removed. If the destroyer started the game via this trait, when it takes damage, after resolutions, return it to your sideline, protected pulse wave.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about this?
This piece is probably the second piece I've actually, in both sealed and in constructed, I would give this triple espresso. I think this is a very meta piece. Guardians of Odin's Treasure Vault is just a fantastic trait. I see him making splashes all around. He is a prime. Is he super rare prime?
Yes, he's super rare prime.
Okay. If he wasn't a prime, I can see multiples of this piece being played on a team or multiples being played on the sideline, so you can actually pull in multiples and give out, multiple secret tokens. But luckily they did make him a prime, otherwise it would just run rampant. This guy's going to be huge on a lot of teams that generate pogs, or teams that generate a 0.0 casting cost pieces. He's got the potential to just swing the game in your way any way you look at it. Even if he's dealt like 4 or 5 clicks of damage from the trait, he still comes in with 11 attack, and he's dealing 3 damage, psychic blast from range, or he's dealing, if he's close enough with giant reach and he could sidestep up, he's dealing 4 damage with a 12 attack. This guy's definitely meta in my book.
Yeah, I mean, he comes in on
click 5 or 6 on average.
You think so with the sideline, or
it depends? Again, it depends on.
If he has 1 token,
and you roll a 5 or a 6, then he's coming in.
He comes in. Right. If he has 2 tokens, you only need to roll a 4, 5, or 6.
Right. So. It's the averages that I'm thinking about. 3 tokens on him. Some rolling a 3. It's possible that a player can go through a local tournament, have 1 token on them each match or each time, and just bring him out and have just him being on click 2 the entire time.
Yeah. Now, granted, he does come out on your opponent's turn, and if they hit him, he goes right back.
Sure.
So that's like one thing. But if they don't hit him, then you could potentially deal a lot of damage with them for sure.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you, by the way. I think he's a 3 all around. I mean, I would even main force him for fun. I don't think it would be meta, but I think with him with the Galactus Herald dial, the 25-point Herald dial from Galactus to give him protected outwit. I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, come on.
That's the 19 defense, and being a giant is fantastic.
Being a giant with 10 range is just always good, and the penetrating damage is just even better. So,
sure, he's 10 clicks of life. So if you somehow give him a way to heal I think E3 heals characters that have the armor robot keyword, if I'm not mistaken. But he may be retiring soon. I think he's out of Avengers Black Panther. He's a great way to keep this piece, and he's only 100 points and 10 clicks deep at 100 points with those solid stats up and down the dial. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely playable.
All right, so let's look at the next figure, which is Thanos, 150 points. Okay, he's set number 54. He's got 6 range with 3 targets, cosmic energy, 12 speed with running shot, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 19 defense with impervious, 5 damage. He targets out of adjacency, and he's got a trait. So we can look at his trait and his defense power. His trait is an Infinity Mjolnir of my own creation. When Thanos hits, roll a d6. 1. Mind. After resolutions, Thanos may use mind control as free, but only to target a hit character regardless of range or line of fire. Then 2. Power. Increase the damage dealt by +1 to each hit target. 3. Reality. After resolutions, you may generate a hindering, blocking, or water terrain marker in a square adjacent to a hit character. Number 4, Soul. After resolutions, heal Thanos 2 clicks. Number 5, Space. After resolutions, you may place a hit character in a square within 5 squares of their current square. And then 6, Time. Until the end of your next turn, Thanos can use probability control, and opposing characters can't use probability control.
It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, pretty dangerous. And then he's got defense power, stop, impervious, regeneration. Thanos can reduce penetrating damage. So I think, and I was looking at some of the Infinity choices that they have there. You really want to use Thanos. The trick with him is to triple target as much as you can. Because if you, let's say you let's say you just double target, you hit 2 characters with a range attack, and then you roll a 1 for the free mind control after resolutions, right? So you can deal all your damage to one target and then mind control the other target because technically they got hit. So then you could deal all your damage to the one target, and then the other target is full power for the mind control, so you can utilize it to deal a lot of damage after the mind control. So you can do that. You can also, obviously, if you use power and you're multiple targets, you're increasing the damage dealt by +1 for each hit target. So that's just optimizing your. So you really want, with Thanos, you really want to utilize his multiple targets as much as you can, just to get the best use out of it that you can. I think. He's very good. He's not as good as the Legacy Thanos that just came out, I don't think. But I know how you feel about him, Abdul. But he's still really good as a super rare. He's also got much higher defense stats than the other Thanos. It's different. He's different, but kind of comparable a little bit. Not really. I don't know. What do you think about him?
No, I think you're right. He is very playable in the meta. In sealed, absolutely. He's a top tier, triple espresso figure. Being able to target and out of adjacency is fantastic. So if you're able to line up three shots and then deal your damage, and then you roll d6, even if you roll a 1 or quite frankly, any one of these options on the d6 roll is fantastic. If you hit the 5, you're moving all the hit characters 5 squares away from their current square. So it's either closer to your team, so they can get attacked, or dispersing your opponent's team, which is also equally just as good. There's a lot of figures, either they're getting enhancements or props, or there's some way to help them on the map, but spreading them out would damage your opponent's strategy. Honestly, I would give him a very high double espresso in constructed, maybe even a top tier triple espresso, solely based on his stats. His point value is less than the legacy one. Legacy one again only he has a fantastic 10 range, but I think he's single target if I'm not mistaken. Single bolt or is he double
No,
bolt?
the legacy is double bolt.
Double bolt. Okay. Triple bolt is really nice too, and this Thanos has he does have movement attack options too on his dial. Um, Running shot into charge, and he gives a little bit more room to build around him, so you can have potentially a stronger constructed team. So that's where the tipping point's going to come into play for me as far as double to triple espresso.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite sold on him as a meta piece, but I think for sure he's high twos and he's like a low two and maybe like a low two in constructed, and like a definite 3 in sealed for sure.
What would it take for him to be triple espresso?
Well, the only thing I notice about him is that like if you hit him once past down past into his charge clicks, he becomes a lot worse. I think.
Worse in terms of
like if you just 19 defense with him per. I don't know. He's just a lot of points. He's for 150 points. I don't know. And the effect is random. It's not, you can't choose it like the legacy one you can choose. So this effect is random. So I don't know. He's good. He's really good. I don't know. It remains to be seen.
We shall see. We'll address him later.
We shall see.
All right.
Let's take a look at Malekith.
Okay.
Malekith is set number 55. He is 100 points. He's got the Mystics team ability, 7 range with triple target. He's got 9. He's unique. 9 speed with stealth, 11 attack with blades, 18 defense with impervious, 3 damage with exploit. He's got a trait, Incapacitate. When a friendly character uses Incapacitate, after resolutions gained 1 mission point for each hit character that was given a second action token. What are your thoughts on him?
He's conditional. In sealed, I would give him a high single espresso. In constructed, potentially he's definitely a solid piece you can use in constructed to create a mission point team off of. There's plenty of characters out there with high attack values and double and triple targets for in-cap. You can definitely build an in-cap team, which would, it gets around invincible, it gets around impervious, it gets around invulnerability, toughness. The only thing you really have to worry about is super senses and battle fury, I believe. Can't in-cap somebody that has battle fury. And then you've got, you're constantly giving your opponent out tokens if you build a mission point team off of an in-cap team. He's got potential. I would definitely give him a double espresso based on those factors.
Yeah, situationally, if you're building a mission point team, he can be good. So I would give him a double espresso in constructed, and yeah, I agree with you. In sealed, he's not as good, I don't think.
Yeah, there's not enough. I haven't seen enough sealed pieces that have in caps so he can utilize that trait at all. Aside from him.
And our last super rare of the set is Thor. It's another Thor. This one is set number 56. He's 175 points or 100. Okay, let's take a look at his 175 point line. Okay, he's got the Avengers team ability. He's got 6 range with 2 targets, 12 speed with hypersonic speed, and flying, 12 attack with super strength, and 19 defense with invincible, 5 damage with exploit weakness. He has improved movement, destroys blocking, and characters. And he has a trait, no Asgardian shall fall. Defend. When a friendly character that's adjacent or has the Asgardian keyword would take 4 or more damage, they instead take 3. He has an attack power that he gets towards the end of his dial. Lightning Storm, Giant Reach 3, Quake, but deals 3 penetrating damage instead of 2. Instead of 2 damage, so 3 penetrating. And then he's got a damage power that he has on his 100-point line. He starts on his 100
Right.
point line with the damage power. Um, the battle shall be ours. Leadership. When Thor uses it, he may treat friendly characters with the Asgardian keyword within range as adjacent. So it's just a beefed up leadership. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what point value would you use this? Well, what do you think of him, Abdul? This Thor?
He's actually, if anyone remembers, the 175-point Thor out of the Mighty Thor. He's the title Thor. I like the opening click. It's unfortunately he's too expensive at 175 points and doesn't do enough for me to say, okay, listen, I want to play this character at 175 points. He does A, B, C, D. He doesn't do enough for me at that. He does destroy blocking. He's got improved targeting characters, and that's great. Just unfortunately, he doesn't do enough at 175. At 100 points, he's more playable. If somebody decided to give him the surfboard or give him the exospecs, and he can choose hypersonic speed or running shot. Now he becomes a little bit more of a threat, especially when he can run through walls, and break them down. Especially if you don't want to play, was that Prime Gladiator? You can actually play him because he's got different keywords: Asgardian, Avengers, DD, and Warrior. You can build around that. And then if you play him on an Asgardian team, and he's got the No Asgardian Shall Fall trait, that's going to help protect Asgardians a little bit longer, keep him on the map a little longer. So I would definitely, in sealed, obviously I'm going to play him at 175 points. Definitely double espresso in sealed. In constructed, high one espresso, low double espresso. I don't think he's going to be meta in any way, shape, or form. There's other 100-point characters out there, especially with the damage drop off from click 5 to click 6 at the 100-point, and he's got a lower range. Yeah, just a low double espresso.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think I agree with those assessments on both for sealed and the constructed, for sure. It would be fun to play him at 175, just or maybe even to equip him at 100. But I think I see him more as a fun piece and not really a competitive piece.
Cool.
Let's take a look at the chases. So we're done with the super rares. So we have reviewed in the Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms set review that we're doing today. We've reviewed the commons, uncommons, rares, super rares, and now we're going to move on to the chases. So let's take a look at the chases and stay tuned for that. So we are back with Abdul Manikram from Team Pushin. He is a fellow Pushin team member, and we're going to be reviewing the chases from the Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms set review that we're looking at today. So let's look at our first chase, which is Black Widow. This is Black Widow, set number 57, 75 points or 50 points, and she makes a lurker token, which is shown there. Okay, at 75 points, she's got 5 range with 3 targets, 9 speed with a running shot, 12 attack with a special, 18 defense with impervious, and 3 damage with close combat expert. She has improved targeting through adjacency. She has a trait: use the tuning fork to summon the lurker. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6 and give Black Widow a number of summon tokens equal to the result. Free, remove 6 summon tokens to generate the lurker bystander, max 1. She has an attack power. Well, that's convenient. Energy shield explosion, energy explosion, and penetrating psychic blast. So there you go. I mean, that's her. Pretty simple. She generates. If she has 6 summon tokens, she can generate this lurker bystander, which has flurry, 10 attack, and 3 damage. And it says here for the lurker has a trait: if an opposing character has been KO'd since your last turn, modify attack +2. If a friendly character has been KO'd since your last turn, modify attack -2, and those both would stack. So if an opposing character and a friendly character has been KO'd, then Lurker's attack value would effectively stay the same. Abdul, what do you think about Black Widow?
She's an interesting piece. The energy explosion penetrating psychic blast is very nice. She's got the improving targeting out of adjacency, so she can just run a shot in there and energy explosion, but she would end up taking the 2 damage herself if she did that. She's interesting. I could see her being played at 50 points as opposed to 75 points. The Lurker token could potentially come out on turn 1 and just be out of the game. Or she could save those tokens and then move up into combat or running shot and then shoot out of adjacency, not necessarily having to use energy explosion. She could just psychic blast and then drop the Lurker token and finish off her who's ever left on the battlefield. She's got potential. In sealed, I would give her double espresso as well as in constructed.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't give her anything higher than that. I think she's good. She's got potential, but I don't think she's amazing. I just think she's just very good. You keep in mind, like, most of these chases are gonna be pretty good, but because they have a lot of effects and things like that. But I mean, as far as compared to everything else, I think the Black Widow, not really the best one. Let's take a look at Human Torch. Human Torch is set number 58. Does he have a picture? No. So let's see. Set number 58, Human Torch. Yeah, too bad we don't get the picture for him because this Human Torch, really nice. The sculpt is really nice for the Human Torch. But you can see it. It has been previewed elsewhere. Set number 58, Human Torch. He's 100 points or 50 points. He's got 7 range with 2 targets. At his 100-point line, he's got 11 speed with running shot, 12 attack with special, 18 defense with energy shield, deflection, and 4 damage probability control. At his 50-point value, he's 8 speed with sidestep, 11 attack with energy explosion, 17 defense with toughness, and 3 damage with enhancement. He's got 7 range, 2 targets, Mystics and Fantastic Four team abilities, as Guardian Deity and Fantastic Four keywords, real name Johnny Storm, improved movement destroys blocking, and improved targeting destroys blocking. Trait, the Eternal Flame of Destruction, Human Torch deals penetrating damage. Free, choose a debris marker within range. Opposing characters occupying or adjacent to the marker are dealt 1 damage. So, he can make debris markers because he can just shoot through or move through blocking to create debris markers. So that's kind of cool. And the fact that he deals penetrating damage is really good, just in general. Anything that he does deals penetrating. And his attack power, his special attack power that he has is poison, but deals damage even if moved or placed this turn. And that would be penetrating poison because he deals penetrating damage traded. What are your thoughts? I think if you're going to play him competitively, you're really going to be looking at his 50-point line. So, like, what do you think of his 50-point line?
His 50-point line, it's a little squishy for me. You're not going to be able to utilize his burning up as much, which I can see him just running up to somebody and taking a shot, and then if he's close enough to poison somebody, he'll poison. He doesn't have improved targeting out of adjacency at all. I honestly, if I was going to play him, I would play him at 100 points. His range is a little short. I'm a little surprised. I would expect him to have maybe an 8 range. The double target is nice. Being able to deal penetrating damage is really good. He could run through, destroy a whole bunch of blocking terrain. And he doesn't necessarily have to make an attack. He can just move and destroy blocking terrain and then select a piece of blocking terrain that was destroyed, and then deal 1 damage to any and all opposing characters adjacent to that piece. So that's really nice.
Now let me ask you
Um,
something also.
yeah,
With that trait, it says opposing characters occupying or adjacent to the marker are dealt 1 damage. Is that also penetrating?
that's that I want to get a clarification on because it just says deal them 1 damage. It's not damage from an attack, as would be psychic blast, but part of that trait is human torch deals penetrating damage. So I would like to get a clarification on that one. If it is penetrating damage, then it makes his value much better in my book. I would definitely give him double espresso in sealed and constructed.
Yeah,
What about you?
I agree. Double espresso in sealed, and in constructed. I mean, I think if he had that special power on click 1, on click 5 for his 50-point line,
Sure, the burning up.
yeah, the burning up,
Yeah,
then I think he might be better in constructed.
yeah,
But I don't know.
yeah. On the Fantastic Four team, the best. Yeah, I would definitely put him in a Fantastic Four team and try to keep him close to anyone that has a damage reducer to help him out or something. But
Yeah,
he's
and
very squish.
you
He's
could
very
swap him
squishy.
out. You could swap him on a Fantastic
Oh,
Four team for when you're going on blocking map or something like that too. Like
definitely. Yeah, he's got potential.
Doctor Strange, 75 points. Um, this one is pretty simple chase. This is one of the more one of the simpler dials in the chases. Um, this is also really cool sculpt. I wish they had the sculpt pictures. This Doctor Strange
Yeah.
is holding like a giant eye of Agamotto above his head. Um,
Mhm.
so he's got 8 range with 2 targets, 75 points, Mystics and Defender's team abilities. He's a flyer, 10 speed with stealth, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 18 defense with super senses, 2 damage with a special power. He has improved targeting, hindering, and characters. He has a trait, the Warlock's Eye, Mind Control.
Mhm.
When Doctor Strange uses it as range, modify attack +2. So he's getting a 14 attack from range with Mind Control. His damage power is Outwit and Probability Control. So you can also use those seeing through characters at 8 range. I mean, I think he's pretty good. Do I think he's the best chase? No, I do not. But I think that I would give him like a low 2 in constructed. I think you can
Right.
equip. I think you can equip him like he wants to. He wants to be equipped so that he can do like with if you give him the exo specs or something like that. Now he has running shot, mind control. That would help him out a lot. But I mean, he's just a mind control piece, and so
Yeah.
that's not like the biggest thing that you're looking for in a chase. You want more out of it as well. Like if he had something where like he could deal damage as well with the mind control, like if they made his mind control
Oh yeah.
a little bit more potent, then I think he would be a step above. I don't. I would give him like a low 2. That's it.
Interesting. Yeah. In sealed, I would definitely give him a double espresso. He does have a lot of potential, especially with the improved targeting, hindering, and characters. That's big nowadays. I don't really see too many figures out there that have improved targeting, hindering, to get around that stealth or improved targeting characters, especially with an 8 range. And the mind control with a 14 attack is just great. Having traded mind control just makes him all the more better. But I agree with you. His defense is an 18, definitely hittable. He does have super senses on there. Doesn't give out anything as much to other characters, much in the way that the super rare does. And like if the super rare had if the chase had the super rare trait, I believe he'd be, a little bit more well received. But at this point, I definitely give him a low 2 double espresso, in constructed as well.
All right. Let's take a look at Rocket Raccoon. He's 50 points.
Mm-hmm.
He has the Guardians team ability, 7 range with 3 targets. 8 speed with running shot, 12 attack with a special, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with the special. Animal, Asgardian, Cosmic, and Guardians of the Galaxy keywords. A trait, too cold for you, Furless Wonders. Plasticity, opposing characters within 4 squares and line of fire. Consider Rocket Raccoon adjacent for movement purposes. Another attack power. His attack power is Winters Come Early for You. Energy Explosion. When Rocket Raccoon uses it after resolutions, give each hit character an action token. And then his damage power. What? It's just a snowball. Outwit. Once per turn for all characters with this effect. When Rocket Raccoon uses Outwit after resolutions, deal the targeted character 1 damage if it has 1 or more action tokens. So I think that's pretty crazy. I think this guy's a 3. Like, I think he's a 3 or like at least a high 2. I don't know if he fits yet on anything perfectly, but I think even in like maybe even like he could be used in a lot of different ways. You could use him in like a defensive shell type team, because you know, kind of like the way Harry Leland is used almost. Like you can tie people up with him because of his too cold for you trait.
Sure.
And then also he can be a very good attacker because he's got all those targets and he's can energy explode and give out action tokens, which also ties people up. So you know you can't sleep on him as an attacker. And then just being able to outwit somebody and deal them damage whenever you want just by outwitting them.
Oh god, yeah.
I mean, that's just really good. So I mean, he's so valuable for 50 points. I think that's a really good value for 50 points. So I'd give him a 3 for sure.
I would agree with you on this. In both sealed and constructed, this guy has tremendous potential. Just looking at what he can do, the triple shot, you know, energy explosion. You're potentially hitting, you know, the entire opposing force if they're spread out. Even if they're bunched up together, you've got the potential of, if they're bunched up together in like 2 lines, you got the potential of hitting everybody with an explosion, especially with a 12 attack. And then at the end, if you decide to outwit someone with, you know, outwit a figure that was hit with the energy explosion, now they're taking another 1 click of damage. Because he's going to have the 1 token from the EE. Now, looking back at a previous figure that we saw, Malekith at 100 points, you put Rocket Raccoon and Malekith on a team together. Now that in-cap team becomes a little bit more possible. You know, you can even, if you'd like to go be a little bit more daring, you use 2 Rocket Raccoons and a Malekith. That's 200 points. But then you've got, you know, so many targets that are getting hit and getting action tokens and getting in-capped, and you're getting mission points. So either you're going to win the game, potentially win the game off of mission points, or potentially win the game because you keep energy explosion the opposing force. Not to mention the keywords that this figure has: Animal, Asgardian, Cosmic, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a nice, well-rounded figure in my opinion.
No, yeah, he's a really good figure. I don't think the energy explosion works with Malekith though, because it's not in cap. I think Malekith only counts in cap, use of in cap.
You're absolutely right. That's why you would lead. You're going to lead with Rocket Raccoon, who's, if you energy explode 3 figures or 4 figures and they all get hit, they all get tokens. Who's ever within Malekith's range, now he's going to in cap those figures too.
Right.
It's got the potential to do that. So it's a little bit of a order of the operation there. That's very dangerous. You know, when you start giving your opponent, you know, action tokens, and they can't retaliate because they're double tokens. Yeah, it makes a huge difference in the game.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that he's so good. I like his Rocket Raccoon a lot, and you know, I think he would be good on a fun team as well. I mean, I don't know if it's fair to use him on a fun team, but like, I would put together something Guardians of the Galaxy with like Gamora and like Rocket Raccoon and like the old Groot from the old Colossal Groot on there, and do like a Guardians of the Galaxy team. That would be fun.
Cool. Very cool.
Let's take a look at the next chase, which is Venom. All right, so this Venom is set number 61, 75 points, 0 range, 2 targets, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack with blades, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with exploit weakness, armor as Guardian, Brute, Codex, Monster, Reporter, and Sinister Syndicate keywords. So this is, I guess, like the Asgardian version of Venom. He moves through elevated. He's improved movement elevated. He's got a trait symbiotic fusion, which we saw in the last set. Plasticity and super senses. Venom can't be targeted by range attacks if he is within 4 squares and line of fire of an opposing character. And then he's got a power. He says, and then he's got a trait, Dreamstone Simulacrum. Power, generate a Dreamstone Simulacrum bystander, max 1. If Venom hit an opposing character this turn, this trait is activated as a free instead. So, and you can see Dreamstone Simulacrum has the same powers as Venom does on his first click. He's got 10, 11, 18, 3 with charge blades, invulnerability, and exploit weakness. That's a very powerful bystander. With the 11 attack, 3 damage, blades exploit, and he can potentially charge, attack, hit, and then generate the bystander, and then that bystander attacks and hits, so you can deal a lot of damage that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What would you give this Venom?
Actually, I definitely give him a solid 2. Double espresso in sealed and constructed. Almost a low double espresso because I love the fact that he can move up 5, after charging and attack for, with 11 attack blades, exploit. And then if he's engaged, he can't be shot from an opposing during their retaliation. I almost wish he had flurry. Like, it seems that the Dreamstone Simulacrum could have been, actually that's you could have almost just replaced that whole trait with just a flurry.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving him somewhat of a low rating. Not to mention his point value is 75. If he did a little bit more, provided a little bit more, definitely would say he'd potentially be kind of meta. But at this point, no, I'm gonna keep him low.
The only thing that makes me think he's got potential, meta potential, is with Jason Wingard before he rotates out. Because
a couple months.
Yeah, because Jason Wingard can pick his bystander. But then again, like, I think Chewie's maybe a better bystander. I'm not sure. Well, they're both good. But like
Chewie's got Giant Reach too, right?
Chewie's got Giant Reach, Flurry, Blades, Plasticity.
Right.
Chewie's really good. This one has Blades and Exploit though, so and it's 11 attack instead of a 10 attack, so.
And he's got an invulnerability, right?
Oh, but Chewie has Perplex too, so. Yeah.
A little bit more favorable for Chewie. Yeah. I got you.
All right, let's take a look. Yeah, so Venom. We looked at Venom. Let's take a look at Spider-Man. This is 75 point Spider-Man. He's got the Spider-Man team ability, 6 range with triple target, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack with a special, 18 defense with combat reflexes, 3 damage with a special. Keywords are Asgardian, Avengers, Future, Past, Scientist, Spider-Man Family. Real name Peter Parker. Improved movement elevated. Trait, you thought I was hard to touch before I could stop time. So I guess this is like Spider-Man who could stop time. Super senses, when Spider-Man uses it, increase the result by +1 for each time the attack was re-rolled. So that's interesting.
Very dangerous trait.
Yeah.
Very dangerous indeed.
And then he's got an attack power, time dilation. When making an attack roll, Spider-Man may roll 3 dice instead of 2, and then after any rerolls or die replacements, choose 1 die to ignore. When Spider-Man is attacked, you may choose the opposing attacker rolls 3 dice instead of 2. Then after any rerolls or die replacements, choose 1 die to ignore. So that's also pretty powerful. And then the damage power is time diamonds. Probability control. Spider-Man and adjacent friendly characters have safeguard opposing probability control. That's really good.
Yeah, that's very good for this figure. Oh,
yeah, that could just turn off your opponent's prob, if as long as he's adjacent to people. So I mean, I would give this guy. I mean, I think he's very interesting. He's got a lot going on for him. I'd give him like a high 2, maybe even a 3 in constructed, and in sealed also like a must play. What do you think?
Definitely. Solid 2s all around from sealed and constructed. I love his super senses. You could potentially, hurt yourself if you're the opposing character shooting at this figure. If you're constantly re-rolling the attack, you could potentially just re-roll yourself out of hitting him overall. Even if the attack was re-rolled 4 or 5 times, your chances of hitting him just went down significantly. If it was re-rolled 5 times, you're not going to hit him at all. That's just the way it's going to work. The time diamonds damage power is really good too. You just have to be a little bit up close and personal with the opponents, so that everyone that's around Spider-Man can utilize that power. The only thing that really is going to stop this guy is outwit. If he had protected outwit for any one of these, for his trait you thought I was hard to touch before, would have been amazing. But that's why he got the strong double espresso rating.
So what you're saying is he's 100 points with the Herald dial.
There you go. Definitely. Man, that attack power is just insane too. The time dilation is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, all right, let's take a look. So that was Spider-Man. So like a two range for Spider-Man. Let's take a look at She-Hulk. She-Hulk comes in at 100 points or 50 points. This is set number 63. And at 100 points, she's got 9 clicks of life. At 50 points, she's got 3 clicks of life. I would want to play her at 100.
Definitely.
And if we look at her 100-point dial, she has 12. She's got Avengers team ability and Fantastic Four team ability, 0 range with a single target, 12 speed with charge, 12 attack with super strength, 19 defense with impervious, 4 damage with close combat expert, and she's got improved movement, destroys blocking, and then she has 1 trait, Megan Yord, the belt of strength. I hope I'm not butchering these names.
It's pretty interesting, that one.
And free, choose 1. Telekinesis as free, but only to target an adjacent friendly character. So that's very good. I mean, she can't TK herself, but I mean, that would just be crazy if she could. So
that would be crazy.
That's fine. Yeah. She can TK an adjacent friendly character, or she can pick generate a heavy object, or she can pick this turn when She-Hulk uses an object action, increase the damage dealt by 1. And don't forget that heavies and lights both are 1 damage now. They're not, with the new rules. A heavy object is not different in damage bonus than a light object.
Right.
So this would, she could increase it by 1. She would increase it to plus 2 damage. And then her last choice is heal She-Hulk 2 clicks, which she gets hit for something, she can heal it up pretty easily. What would you give She-Hulk, Abdul? What do you think about her?
In sealed, I'll definitely give her, a solid double espresso. um, because of her trait, because of the belt of strength, her being able to utilize any one of those four options that she has. You know, TKing a friendly character, but only if they're adjacent. Chances are she's going to be adjacent to somebody somewhere. You know, she can TK him out of adjacency of an opposing character, so that that character can uh, shoot the opposing character and deal more damage. With psychic blast, as opposed to like having to sit there and get through their invulnerability by punching them because they're adjacent. So yeah, definitely a top tier in sealed. In constructed, I would definitely give her a double espresso. Um, Only because of her point value being so high and she's a chase. If her point value was 80 points, 85 points, definitely say she would definitely be a meta piece because of her long dial, because she actually heals 2 clicks. And then she's got the Fantastic Four TA, so any friendly characters that die, she can heal again off of that. So if she's down on click 8 and a number of characters have died, she can heal back up to click 4, click 3, click 2, whatever the case may be. But she's definitely a strong double espresso in constructed.
Yeah, I think she's a strong double espresso. Two solid two in constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wonder if she's going to see any play on swap teams because she's got both Avengers and Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
So she is an option that's out there. I don't know if she's the best option for either keyword at 100 points. Um, but you could definitely keep her on your sideline, and if you go to a blocking map or something like that, she's really good.
exactly.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I think she's a 3 in sealed. I think she's really good in sealed. I don't know, but but in constructed, yeah, I would give her a 2. So, Abdul,
Nice.
we have one chase left,
2.
and 2 chases left, or no? I think
Iron Man and Thor.
no, that Thor is the OP kit. Thor.
Oh, okay. All right
So
then.
so we only have one chase left. Is Iron Man at 125. And I also want to just ask you after we're done what you think is your favorite chase, and just
Sure.
what you think overall of the set. But so Iron Man, we're looking at him now. He's set number 64. He's 8 range with 2 targets, 125 points, 10 speed with running shot and flying, 12 attack with energy shield explosion, 18 defense with a special, and 4 damage with outwit. He has improved targeting hindering, and a trait. Isn't it a bit too cold for Shakespeare in the Park? Iron Man and adjacent friendly characters can't be given action tokens by opposing effects. So that includes Iron Man himself. And then also he's got a defense power, swords and arrows. That's adorable. Impervious. Iron Man takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks and Blaze Claw's Fangs. Protected outwit. So that power is protected outwit, and he's got 6 clicks of it on 125 points. If you're playing him at 75 points, he's got 3 clicks of that power. He's got leadership on 75 points. On 125 points, he starts with outwit. 75
Mm-hmm.
points, he starts with leadership. Both dials, he has running shot, energy, explosion.
All right.
So what's your opinion on Iron Man?
And Seal definitely would be a meta piece for me, a top tier piece. He's got that 4 damage plus outwit, plus improved targeting hindering with the energy explosion. So he's got the potential to take away someone's defensive powers, and then energy explosion them along with who's ever adjacent to them. In constructed, definitely a solid double espresso. His point value is the only thing holding me back from making him a meta piece. 125 points is still decent for what you're getting for him. Is still very good at 125 points with his 12 attack and that impervious swords and arrows power, where he takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks and Blaze Claw's Fangs and is protected outwit. So he's got that going for him for quite a deep dial there. Even at 75 points, I could see him being played at. What I expect to see this piece in constructed, potentially at 75 points. at 125 points, he'll still be there. It's going to be interesting to see what the bills are if it is 125 points. But overall, double espresso when constructed, and definitely meta in sealed.
Yeah, I think he's good in seal for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Constructed, I'm looking at a 75 point line, and he's got low attack values, pretty low attack values. He does get
It
poison.
does.
He does get poison later on in his dial, and he's also got a little bit of charge close combat expert, um, which helps
Sure.
him if he's making a close attack. So it's really an 11-4 at close.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if he gets knocked on to like click 5 or 6 on his 75 point line, it's not the best click to get him on.
It's not a yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. With defenses the way they're going right now, it seems like I've started to see more and more 19s as opposed to 18s, which is interesting. And then if you're going the opposite direction with your attack value now that 19 means a lot more. You're starting to see a lot less 12s. I've seen a lot of 11s, but now I'm seeing a lot of 10s too. So it's going to be interesting. What comes about that?
So, and I just changed the screen to the OP kit Thor. That's what's on your screen right now. If you're looking at home, just so you can take a look at it. Abdul, what do you think? So, what's your favorite chase out of the ones we just looked at? What is your favorite chase?
Out of the set, honestly, I'm going to go with Rocket Raccoon because the point cost is fantastic. The keywords are great. Range 7, running shot, 12 attack, and then after the energy explosion, if I hit you, I'm giving you an action token. I think by far he's probably the best chase out of all of them. I definitely want to have one in my collection for use. What about you?
For me, I like Wrecker Raccoon. I mean, for me, he's the best figure out of the chases. But for fun purposes, I would rather have Spider-Man because I just like Spider-Man, and he just seems fun. He just seems like a fun piece. But Rocket Raccoon, Rocket is I think the best of the chases. I think I agree with you.
Nice.
And what's your opinion of the set overall?
It's good. It's a good set. It has a lot of potential. Once rotation happens later this year, we'll see what's left out there, and I think some of the pieces that didn't receive as good a rating because of the current meta and the current what's out there. I think more pieces will start to come up. Overall, I'll give this set I'll give it like a very low double espresso. Some pieces obviously did stand out. Super Gamora, the one that basically ignores your defense if she single targets. That's an incredible piece. I think I'm going to see a lot of her just being played overall.
And the super rare Prime Destroyer too. Don't forget.
Yeah, definitely.
Although
definitely.
I think with that Destroyer, I don't think you can field it on your sideline unless you have a character equipped, because you have to have a legal way of bringing it into the game. So you have to have a character. This is what I heard. Is that you have to have a character equipped on your force in order to actually use super rare Prime Destroyer on your sideline. I don't know.
Well, going back to the wording,
maybe that needs clarification. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard somewhere.
Maybe, but according to the current wording, is if Destroyer is on your sideline and an opposing character damages a friendly character with an attack, if either character is equipped after resolutions, give the Destroyer a secret token and roll a d6. Yeah, so it's got to be one or the other that's equipped in order for him to get the secret token.
Right.
So that's the only trade-off. So definitely would want to,
because when you're building your force, you can't guess whether they're going to have equipment or not. You know what I mean? So like when you're building your force and actually putting it on your, I don't know.
You can be on your sideline. It's the only time he's going to get the secret token is if one of your equipped characters gets attacked, or an opposing character that's equipped attacked one of your characters.
Yeah,
that's the way I'm reading it.
I mean, he's definitely one of the standout pieces from the set. Gamora, both primes. Not so much the the Prime Frog Thor. I'm not a big fan of him.
No, he's interesting. He's cute. I like him. You know, in a fun sealed or battle royale, it'd be fun to play him. You know,
I think
overall,
overall this is a fun set, and
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm a big Thor fan. Obviously, you know, I'm worthy of drinking the coffee out of the mug. So,
Sure.
you know, as you know, I guess you know I'm a big Thor fan. So I'm really excited to see this set. In play, and I played it over the weekend. We both played at that sealed event yesterday, and it was a
Yep.
lot. It actually plays really well sealed. This
It
set.
does. It does. You know, a lot of the boosters in the sealed set, they have, you know, they there's the majority of the boosters have like great pieces in them. They're you know, you're not going to feel like you're going to match and you're outgunned. You know, I think it's a pretty well balanced set. Granted, there's obviously you pull certain pieces, it's a different story. But yeah, overall, I was really pleased with the set.
Yeah, me too. So, all right, people at home that are watching, or if you're listening, that's fine too. I hope that you enjoyed the Marvel Heroclix Avengers War of the Realms set review. Don't forget to post in the comments below with your top 3 figures from the set. So just comment and tell me what they are. I'm interested in hearing what the fans have to say and reading everybody's responses. So with that being said, don't forget to find me on Facebook and like and subscribe. And don't forget, everybody, wake up and smell the clicks.